Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Ellie Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And this is a somewhat special episode.
It's pretty special.
It's somewhat special.
It's, well, some would say very special.
I wouldn't. It's your birthday episode.
Way! And we're actually recording 2 days before my birthday.
Oh, Kat asked me the other day when your birthday is, and I was like, I don't know.
2 days.
Kat wanted to know if we're invited to your birthday bash.
Yeah, you'll be invited to the barbecue.
When is it?
I've not sorted it out yet.
We're going on holiday.
When are you going on holiday?
End of August.
Jesus, Liam.
What?
Why did you go to holiday so soon?
Oh, because we got a good deal or something.
Alright, fair enough.
It's your birthday!
It's my birthday!
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
What's the big old number this time?
27?
Maybe 27.
Is that right? How old are you?
I'm 30.
Yeah, so you'll be turning 31.
In December.
Which will then put us 4 years apart again. Yeah. I'm 27.
So, 27.
I will be 27.
That's late 20s.
I think 26 is late 30s. 20s. Whoa.
No, 26 is mid-20s.
Alright. I'm fine with being late 20s. I'm not like you. I'm fine with being...
I was mid-20s up until I turned 30.
Yes, I remember.
How will you be celebrating?
I've got a party on Saturday.
Okay.
Which is a joint party with someone else.
Okay.
And then birthday barbecue, Liam, that you're invited to.
Whenever you sort that out.
When I sort that out.
Cool. What are you hoping you get for your birthday?
My parents asked me this the other day, and my answer was, I don't know. Because you get to an age, and you sort of... Like, when you're a kid, it's easy, because you've just, like, throughout the year been seeing, like, fucking amazing toys.
Yeah.
And then when you start earning money, you can just buy that.
Yeah, I keep an Amazon list on the go, so when it's my birthday, I just shoot that off to the relevant people, and I like just pick from that.
Yeah, I should do that.
But it's easier for me, because I just, like, populate it with films and stuff.
Yeah,
but I guess you could do video games.
Yeah, I tend to chuck a video game on there, but there's nothing that's come out like recently that I'm desperate to get.
What about there's a new VR game. I can't remember what it's called, but it's got really good reviews. It's the one where the kind of you're exploring an abandoned spaceship, and you kind of have to keep dying.
Sounds horrifying.
Oh yeah, it's good. It looks absolutely terrifying. But,
right, what? No, Liam.
But imagine how good it would be if you twitched yourself playing that.
It would just be... No one would want to watch it, because it would be like
would.
a minute of me playing, and then 10 minutes of me crying on my bed, and then a minute of me playing.
It'd be brilliant. So good. It is getting good reviews, though. I can't remember what it's called right now, but you're... I don't know if you're like a copy of an AI or something or whatever, but it's one of those games where when you die, you sort of retain the information that you've learned, but each time you die, the level kind of gets randomised.
Oh, okay. A roguelike.
Yeah. Anyway.
Interesting. I will look into it.
Because it's your birthday episode, you've chosen what we're doing.
Yep.
Which was?
Well, it was originally going to be an anime, but then you cried.
I bitched and moaned because...
That's how the birthday episodes work, listeners, is the other person apparently is just allowed to whinge and moan about it till you change the thing you pick.
I'm pleased you did. I think what you picked was much better than what you were going to pick.
Yeah, well, I ended up picking Her Story, which is a web series, which I watched last year and loved.
It's entirely possible you discussed it on the podcast.
I think I might have. I have a sort of vague memory of doing it. I'm
currently editing the episodes from last year for YouTube, but we're still like... I've just started doing the one where... It was interesting, actually. The one where you came to visit to watch the Super Bowl, and we were discussing how... It was like, I think my first time in a long time of seeing you without a beard, and I was saying how good you looked.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you, Liam.
I was like, this is a good look, you should keep it. And now, obviously, like, listening back, I had a little quiet chuckle to myself. Like, if only Liam had known back then.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I think a lot of people had that moment after I came out where they were like, oh, because I definitely have friends who went, that's why you haven't had a beard. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So that's like February time.
Oh, okay.
So probably not quite there yet.
No, because I think that was after I'd come out on the show that I'd have watched it.
That would have made sense.
I don't know. Ooh, interesting. We'll see.
I'll try and remember to keep our listeners updated. Anyway, later on we're talking about her story, the show, not the game. But before all that, it's catching up with Ellie and Liam. What have you been up to?
Liam,
You've been a busy girl.
I have. I've been on holiday. Had a week off.
Where did you go?
Me and my dad went camping by Loch Lomond. Oh my god! Very quickly, sidetracked. The place we went was a place called Loch Lomond, right?
Yeah.
We met a French girl there who I don't think said the name of the loch,
Right.
but for some reason, ever since we met her, I have been instinctively calling it Loch Lomond.
Okay, that's weird.
Like a fucking pretentious asshole.
What was the French girl doing there?
Well, so basically, we went to this like campsite,
Yeah.
which was really cheap. It was like, I think in total for both of us, it was like 46 quid for 3 nights,
Okay.
which is like dirt cheap. It was great.
Yeah.
And we went up there, and on the first day we travelled. We were like, oh yeah, we'll drive up. We've got a car.
Long
Take
drive.
it in turns. Easy, yeah. 8 hours
Yeah.
without stopping.
But
and we were like,
were you taking it in turns though?
yeah.
That makes it a lot easier.
It does, but we didn't sleep.
What?
Yeah, so part of the problem, like the whole logic was we were like, oh, we'll drive up and whoever's not driving can nap.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But that never happens because you're too excited about being on holiday.
I don't even know if it was that. I think me and my dad were both doing that sort of like, had that weird logic of like, well, they're driving, so I feel weird sleeping.
Oh, I never have that problem.
No, you wouldn't. You're very selfish.
Yeah.
But anyway, we like, so it was, what day was it? It was like Tuesday last week was the day we were going up, I think.
Okay.
And the Monday was so hot. It was boiling.
Yeah.
So Monday night comes around. We're both like, right, we'll go to bed early. We're getting up at 2 a.m, leaving at 3 a.m. So that we
you're
get
there
up
at like 11.
Yeah, but we'd also factored in like a couple of hours for stops.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically, we had to get to the campsite. We couldn't get there before 2.
Okay.
And we were like, oh, we'll go to Asda though and get supplies. So there'll be like this big long, we'll probably need a few hours up there.
Yeah.
So neither of us slept because it was too hot. Literally got up at 2, saw my dad and was like, I haven't slept. And he was like, nope, neither have I. I went downstairs. It was too hot. I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
So we then, after no sleep, started driving.
Smart.
I mean, it was fine because we were both very, if you start
Awake.
feeling tired at all, just pull over into services. It doesn't matter. We're not in a rush.
Yeah.
Just we'll be chill about the whole thing, which worked. Like, there was maybe one point where I was very tired and I said to him, look, I've got to pull over and nap. So I ended up sleeping in the car for half an hour,
Okay.
which then after that I was like, I'm fine, we can do this again.
Yeah.
But eventually we got up there. So we'd been driving fucking 8 hours, I think 10 hours in the end, when you factor in the stopping and getting up there and going to Asda and whatever.
Yeah.
So we get to the campsite, we put up our tent, and we went to inflate the airbeds.
Yeah.
My one inflates fine.
Yeah.
Dad's one inflates. One of the seams in it had popped, so half of the airbed just expanded into this like twice the height of the rest of the airbed.
Right.
So you couldn't lie on it.
No.
You wouldn't be able to sleep on it.
No.
So we then were like, well, fuck, we have to go out.
Get an airbed.
Yeah, we're like,
How much
don't
does
worry.
that set you back?
Not very much. Airbeds are not very expensive.
Okay.
If you just get like a normal Asda one.
Yeah.
So we looked it up online. We were like, there's got to be a camp shop nearby. We're at a campsite. There's lots of campsites around here. No, 45 minutes back to the Asda we'd just been to was the nearest place. So we drove back. Well, we went to go drive back. And as we're turning on the car, this French girl comes up.
Oh, hello.
Like,
right, now it's getting interesting.
And she was like, hey, can you guys help me?
No, do the accent. Come on.
No, I'm not doing the accent.
Did she say hey, or did she say bonjour?
She did not say bonjour.
Oh,
she was speaking English quite well.
What's the point?
She did have a French accent.
Go on, do it.
No. I don't want to offend our French listeners.
We don't have any.
We might do.
I mean, if they were... I don't think you could offend them any more now than when we discussed blue is the warmest colour.
I don't think we were offensive to the French.
I don't know, they probably are quite proud of how successful that film was, and then we come along and just piss all over that bonfire.
I think we were quite nice about blue is the warmest colour, even though we didn't like it. Anyway, this French girl, she apologises, asks if we can help her. We were like, yep, that's fine. What do you need?
Why is she apologising?
Because she was like, I'm sorry that I'm asking you to help me with this.
Okay.
She had somehow packed up her tent and left half of it at her last campsite. So she'd been walking a whole day.
Yeah.
So, because basically there were a load of like youngish, like 18 to sort of 24-year-old European kids, all on these like hiking holidays.
Right.
Because there was some lottery where you could win free travel if you were 18 throughout Europe.
Okay.
Which is cool.
Yeah,
but they were all on this like hiking holiday where they were going to campsites, walking to the next one the next day, setting up camp. It looked very fun.
Yeah,
She'd forgotten half her tent. So we were like, fine, we'll drive you to your last campsite. You get your tent. We'll drive you back here. Then we'll go to Asda and get our airbed.
Yeah.
So this day that had already been 10 hours of driving, her campsite was 45 minutes away. The Asda was 45 minutes away. It ended up being an extra 3 hours. I had to just say to my dad at one point, I can't drive because I will crash.
Right.
Like, I'm going to pass out. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Just turned into hell, Liam. But all worth it because Loch Lomond is, like, legitimately one of the most beautiful places I've ever been.
What makes it so nice?
It's just dude, like, I don't know how we posted a load of photos on Instagram and stuff, and they do not capture how beautiful it is. It's just Scotland it's got these mountains that just are everywhere, and the loch is basically this huge lake with all these islands on it.
Yeah.
And it's just all covered in trees, and it's just amazing.
This is going to sound like really dickish, right? But I think if that's like what appeals to you, you 100% need to try and get yourself out to like Canada or somewhere. Because
yeah, no, 100%.
That is like one of the joys is stepping outside of like the hotel room and just being like, everywhere I look is mountains.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. I want to go to Canada.
Yeah. I still want to know like when you're going to sort out our camping.
Yeah, I'm going to get it sorted, mate. Don't worry.
But is it going to be this year? Because the weather's
Do you want to go for an 8-hour drive?
I mean, it'd probably be for me, add an extra hour onto that.
Yeah, but we could meet up.
Yeah, I could do it, he says.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think
that
anyway,
it would be funny to do it just because I'm probably already going to be a bit like, why have I agreed to this on the day?
Yeah, and then you doing an 8-hour drive to get to a thing you don't really want to do would be hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, sorry, yeah, you just hurry up and organise that before the weather turns.
I will.
Well.
But yeah, it was. So we ended up camping up there. We went to. Oh, where did we go? The first day we went to. Was it Stirling? Or. Oh, I can't remember. There was like one of the days we went to this place called Stirling in Scotland.
Yeah.
Which has like a William Wallace statue and a castle where Robert the Bruce.
Oh, I saw. Defended. I think your dad posted on Twitter that you were taking it back for the English.
Probably. I wanted to post. I had a really good idea, and I took the photo and then fucking forgot to post it.
Ugh,
but they had this statue of William Wallace,
yeah,
and I wanted to post this Mel Gibson statue's really shit.
That would have been good.
I know, and then I completely forgot, and it really annoyed me.
Well, maybe
we did that. Then, so we went to Stirling. Then the next day we climbed one of the mountains.
Yeah,
and just like. It was really hard because I haven't climbed a mountain in ages since I was like 18.
Yeah. Did you piss and moan about it like you did when I took you bike riding?
No.
Did you just get on with it?
Yeah, we just did it.
Why couldn't you just done that with the bike riding?
Because you're annoying. And I want to moan at you.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so we climbed up this mountain, had an amazing view, then we went to this like really nice pub that was nearby that was sort of a touristy pub almost.
Yeah.
But they did haggis pizza.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Oh, dude, haggis is great anyway.
Let's explain what haggis is to people that maybe don't know, like me.
It's like, I think traditionally, it's like the leftover bits from when they butcher a sheep, I think.
Yeah.
And they just sort of, they mince it all up.
Mm.
Put some spices in with it. It's a little bit spicy, not hot, just like...
There's a kick.
Yeah. And it's nice, though. But it's just that, and it's all this, like, minced up meat. It's delicious.
Okay.
But they had that on a pizza, which was amazing.
Sounds awful.
Dad had a haggis burger. We just enjoyed this amazing, like, Scottish scenery. Then we were looking to do we'd seen people canoeing, and we were like, oh, that would be quite good. Like,
yeah.
Me and my dad go out on a canoe, and we were like, we either do that, or we go on, like, a boat tour sort of thing, go and see the islands, look at them.
Yeah. And
we were like, let's just do that one. We've just climbed the mountain. We're not really feeling canoeing.
Lazy.
Yeah, no, 100% we're lazy.
Yeah.
We know that. But then we somehow missed all of the boat tours, and the only thing we could find was this one, like, you had to go down to this jetty that no one was at. There were like 3 people standing there, and they were all employees.
Right.
And it was just a thing that said like ferry to the Ianicoch Island or something.
Okay.
So we were like, okay, well, at least we get to go see an island. We'll do that. And this ferry had just me and my dad on it.
Yeah.
Took us over to this island, dropped us off, and left.
Brilliant.
And they were like, we come back, every half hour. But there was a moment where we were like, what the fuck have we done? We're now just trapped on an island with no shops or anything. We're going to die.
Have you ever seen The Wicker Man?
It was a little bit like that, yeah.
Cool.
But
okay.
except no one lives on this island.
Okay. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, though?
I think better. If there were people living there, then I could definitely see the locals are going to burn us.
Yeah.
But then it ended up just being like, again, just this beautiful island. Like the trees go, the trees and the banks of the islands just go right up to the water. So there's this tiny thin strip of like sometimes beachy, but more likely just stones.
Yeah.
But that just goes straight into the loch. The loch is so still. There's waves, but they're so small because it's just a big lake.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. Like, you get down to the side of the island and you're like, oh, this is just beautiful and amazing. And we just wandered around this island for like an hour and a half.
What was the weather like throughout the week? Because it's been a bit hit and miss down here.
It was meant to be rainy.
Yeah.
Every morning it rained, but only like when we were in our tent asleep.
Yeah.
We'd wake up, the rain would stop pretty soon after we got up, and then it stayed sunny most of the time. And a Scottish guy even said to us, he was like, because I was like, oh, I'm surprised by how nice it is.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, so am I. It's never like this in Scotland.
Were they quite friendly? Because I've heard that they can be a bit like standoffish towards British people.
No, they're fine.
Oh, I'm just saying what I've heard.
No,
I haven't actually
I think it probably
experienced
helps.
it myself.
It helps that we were by the lochs, like
Yeah.
especially Loch Lomond, which is like quite a famous one that I think is quite, like I said, it's full of Europeans who are travelling and
Yeah.
British people would come up to see it as well, and then Scottish people camping there. So I think it's a more friendly atmosphere.
Okay.
And then the places we went, like Stirling, we went to the castle, which is obviously a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
And then the last day we went to the Edinburgh Fringe for one day.
How was that?
Oh, really good. We want to go back.
Yeah, it's a sort of thing that I've always liked the look of it.
Yeah.
But it's a long way to go, isn't it?
It's a long way to go, and it's like not expensive, but like because you're paying for all, like some of the shows are free, but even those ones, at the end they're like, if you want to give us a donation, because we're paying for this venue and stuff, so you end up donating them some money, then you pay for the tickets to the sort of bigger comedians.
Yeah.
But it's like, to go and see an hour comedy show, I think we went and saw this guy called Larry Dean.
Okay.
Who's been on Live at the Apollo, and Dad was like, oh, he's really good, we should see him. Yeah. And he was fucking hilarious.
I've never heard of him.
He's really good. He's worth seeing.
Okay.
He's this gay Scottish guy who's just, like, his whole sort of, I think his shtick is that he's just nice. So he was like, everyone's sitting in the front row, you're sort of all looking a bit panicked, like I'm going to be a dick to you.
Yeah.
And he was like, I just want you to know, I don't do that because, like, that seems mean. And then, like, a guy got up to leave to go and do something, and he was like, where are you going? And the guy was like, oh, my mate's upstairs, he's got booze. And Larry Dean's just like, oh yeah, no, that's totally fine, dude. If he's got beer, you go and go sit with him. Yeah. And then he was like checking on him throughout the show, just like, how's the beer? Is it all good? And the guy's like, yeah. But he was just being nice about it.
Yeah.
But he was honestly really good. And, going to the Fringe is quite cool.
Yeah.
There's just shit going on.
It's probably like quite atmospheric.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's my week, dude. I've just been all up in Scotland and shit.
So this was a question that I did pose at the time, but I never really got a satisfying answer. You opted to go camping.
Yes.
Why not get like a B&B or a hotel or something with like walls?
Because we wouldn't have woken up. Just literally, our campsite was where our tent was a 3-second walk to the edge of the loch. So you literally woke up,
Is that opened a good
the
thing,
tent.
though?
Yes, dude.
Why?
Because it's amazing. You're just and like our tent was really good. It was warm.
I think
we weren't cold. We slept fine. Woke up, bust out the little gas stove that my dad has. We cooked breakfast.
Yeah, I
had
think
a coffee.
At the moment, just the I've only ever camped once before, and just the entire like idea of it just baffles me.
I mean, the way I think the way we did it was really good, which is it's a base of operations. Like we weren't sitting on the campsite all day. You know, like every day we went out and did something somewhere.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and then at night we just had a fire pit because the guys, forestry commission people rented out fire pits.
Yeah.
So we'd get back from whatever we were doing, light a fire, just sit around the fire, hanging out. I don't know. I think it's more fun than you think it would be.
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, I am sort of tempted to, if we do it, make it a lot more hellish for you. And I'm like, right, we're doing a hike through the woods.
Yeah, but the funny
you're going to
thing
learn
about
compass
that
skills.
is I would probably not mind that, and then you would hate it.
No, I like walking through the woods, Liam. You've got to remember, I like hikes and stuff. What I don't like is bike rides. Anyway, that's what I've been doing, Liam.
Okay.
What have you been up to? Because I hear you've been quite busy as well.
I went kayaking with my mum.
Is a kayak two people in the same one? No, that's
You could have either. You could have either.
Oh, okay. Did you go
either...
separately?
No, we did two people in the same one in case she got tired.
That's fair.
So, and I was like, yeah, that's not a problem.
Did she consider what happens if you and her get tired?
No.
Or like if it gets dark while you're out on the water and you're just...
We were only allowed out for like an hour.
Oh, okay.
It was, she wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
And we landed on kayaking.
I enjoy kayaking and like canoeing and
the
stuff.
problem, I think she's trying to get me better with the water because...
Oh, are you not a fan of water?
Growing up, it's not water. I'm fine with water. Growing up, I've never had a particularly good experience with a boat.
Okay. I do know that you don't like ships.
Don't like sailing. Don't understand it. What's the point? I'll do like a truncated version of incidents that I can recall with boats and shit. At school, did you ever have this thing called PGL?
I didn't do it through school, but I have done it as a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, like essentially, so with school, it's a week away with your class, and we went to Wales, and you did like, activities and stuff that week.
Yeah.
I hated it, obviously.
Yeah.
It wasn't like camping.
No, they set you up in like those little sort of, I don't know what you call them, like shitty hut things.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
One of the activities was you build your own raft and...
Yep, I've done that before. It's very fun.
Go on it. We built a stupid raft. I fell off, and then we had like two barrels next to each other.
Yeah.
That were like secured with rope and stuff. My head got stuck in between the two barrels underneath. Picture that.
I'm trying not to laugh because it's really mean if I laugh.
It is, but like
I am.
Like,
to be fair to me, Liam,
me.
I'm picturing you this age, not as a kid.
Yeah, 11-year-old me, right?
See, I'm picturing 31-year-old Liam because that is hilarious. Young Liam.
I'm not 31. I'm 30.
Sorry, 30.
Yeah, get it right.
Your late 20s Liam. I'm picturing late 20s Liam.
Perfect. No, like my head was stuck between. It's like one of my friends.
How did it get stuck between them?
Right, I don't know.
Because I am assuming they were tied together, right?
They were, but they one of them flipped, like rolled. So it rolled. Okay. I went around essentially, like on it, and then got stuck between the two under the water. So one of my like classmates had to like literally grab me and pull me out. Otherwise, I probably would have drowned.
Yeah, that's kind of horrifying.
Yeah, so that wasn't a great experience.
No.
The reason why Mum chose kayaking is because the last time we did anything similar was when we was on holiday in Jamaica once. Yeah. We went kayaking in the sea. And I mean,
that's a much riskier place to go kayaking.
Fuck yeah, I was 14. And then like the beach, and then it sort of like the beach went on for a long way, and it kind of went up into this like big sort of cliff that overlooked the sea.
Yeah.
And then like, so imagine like the beach sort of arcs around into this big cliff, and then you had a rock in the middle of the ocean. So we were like, why don't we just kayak around the rock and like go along the cliff and then pedal our way back. Yeah. Turns out that the water around that rock was really choppy, and we got knocked against a cliff and fell out of the kayak, and my mum's other half had to come and rescue us, and it was all like we all got cut, and it was bad. It was really scary. So that wasn't great.
Jesus Christ. How old were you when that one happened?
14.
Jeez. Oh yeah, you did say that, sorry.
Yeah. On another holiday, I did like a boat trip with my nan, And
I mean, here's my real question, Liam.
Yeah.
Why did your family keep trying to get you on boats?
I don't know. I think they were just like, well, we got to give him a good experience, otherwise he's going to hate boats.
And they were just all shit.
Yeah, I just got horrendously seasick and spent the entire time throwing up.
I used to get seasick.
Yeah, apparently you have to go on deck, and it helps a lot if you're on deck. If you're down in the little rooms, it's awful.
Yeah.
That wasn't good. And then another time, this was one of the better experiences. But again, it might have, I think it was in Jamaica again with my nan. My mum and her other half went off and did a trip, and me and my nan did a trip, and we did this like what should have been this nice little raft ride down a little river.
Yeah.
And like you had like this Jamaican guy that was like commandeering the raft. Is that the right word?
No, commandeering means he was like stealing it like a pirate.
Not commandeering, like shipping it, captaining it. I don't know.
Captaining the raft. Yeah.
Problem is, my nan can't swim, and this guy was like easily pushing 80. So 14-year-old me was just in a constant state of like, if anything goes wrong here, I have 2 old people that I need to rescue. So I just couldn't relax.
Were you wearing life jackets?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's... yeah.
This was before health and safety was a big deal.
Well...
I remember, like, one of the things that looking back now I understand, but then I didn't. In the hotel, we're the person that is your like go-to if you want to sort out trips and stuff.
Yeah.
They came and they were like, oh yeah, you can do a helicopter trip. I'm going to warn you now, it's the only legal way to get high in Jamaica. And everyone laughed, and like innocent 14-year-old me was like, I don't understand that. Now, I totally get it.
Yeah, it was a very good joke they made.
Yeah. That I think is basically my issues I've had with boats.
Okay, so
a couple, like 2 near-death experiences.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
And so this has all happened. You're, anti-boat.
Yeah.
And your mum says to you, let's go kayaking.
It'll be different.
How was it?
It was actually fine. It was really nice weather. Where we went to like a place in the New Forest.
Oh, okay.
And it had this big like aqua park, which looked really fun. And you sort of like, you're allowed like, can only kayak like around the edge of it. And there wasn't like we were there for an hour. And by like the 40-minute mark, I was kind of like, I've kind of seen everything there is to see.
Yeah.
So like, it was fun. I wish there was more of a route or something to have.
Oh God, I hate you.
Why?
I don't know. Your obsession with like routes and being told where to go.
It's not that. It's just like I don't
Be
mind.
adventurous, Liam.
No, but the problem is like there wasn't a lot of places you could go. So you could just go like next to this aqua park, right? But then like it was just a bit of a lake that you could just like kayak around. But then that's it. You've seen everything.
Yeah.
I wanted
That's
there
just
to
describe it as that. Don't describe it as wanting them to give you a route.
Yeah, sorry. There just wasn't a lot to see.
Yeah. Okay.
So I wanted there to be like a route or something, so there was more to see.
Well, there you go. We'll go to Loch Lomond, Liam. We'll canoe on the loch.
Brilliant.
It's the biggest loch in Scotland.
That'd be good. I think the weather's going to turn is the problem. I think it's too late.
Coward.
I mean, we can give it a go, but
I
think it's going to be bad weather.
I want it to end up like one of those films. I want us to get stranded in the middle of the loch.
I'd probably die.
Wow. Just makes it more dramatic, doesn't it?
You'd eat me.
I would eat you.
Yeah.
So
the thing is, there's not a lot of meat on my bones.
I could make it last.
Okay. So yeah, I did that. It was a good experience with a boat.
Yeah. I'm glad you've had a good experience with a boat.
Me too.
You're going to be boating again?
I wouldn't be opposed to it if the conditions were right.
Fair enough.
Like if it's like windy and a storm's coming, probably not.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But we've had such nice weather lately that perfect boating weather, really.
Yeah, that's fair.
I also recorded with the Magic Mike's guys, who you may know as the Zack Attack guys.
Yep.
So I went onto their podcast to talk all about Magic Mike's. Any guess what this is about?
It's I know, don't I? Because you've told me on the show.
Entirely possible, yeah.
It's who's the guy? It's fucking. I know his name. Channing Tatum.
Correct. Yeah.
And but they got you on to do a film that barely has him in it, right?
Yeah. We did Step Up 2. The
That's
Streets.
right. So you had to go and watch all the Step Up films.
Yeah. Well, just the first one, really.
Oh, okay.
So I watched the first one. It was enjoyable enough. I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Then I watched Step Up to the Streets, and the Channing Tatum scene in it is actually really good.
Oh, really?
It's not like he's in it maybe... He was in it more than I was expecting him to be in it. I thought he would just literally like show up, say something to a character, and piss off. But he actually has a dance, and it's brilliant.
Okay.
They're in this club, right? Like this dance club, and he's like, this girl is kind of in a bit of trouble or whatever, and he's like, look, I'm going to dance battle you. If I win, you go to the Maryland School of Arts, which is where he went in the first film. He's like, you're going to turn your life around there. It's brilliant. If I lose, do what you want. Go join your dancing gang in the streets. And in this dance club, suddenly the people lift off these panels from the floor. Fucking trampolines.
What?
Yeah! It's so
Why
good.
Why are there trampolines?
It would be such a health and safety violation. But it was so good. They were dancing, they were bouncing. And then, this just blew my mind, okay? Absolutely, I couldn't believe it. Oh, Channing, the Chan man, if you will, bounces off a trampoline, up, grabs onto a pipe, right, this on the ceiling, and then drops off of the pipe, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound very impressive, does it?
No.
Let me tell you what he does while that's all happening. Fucking takes his shirt off. I don't know how he does it.
No.
But it was like, I was just like, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was so good.
Oh, it's such a you film.
It is. The thing is, I've realised, I think I really like the Step Up films because I've watched Step Up 3 since then, which was released as Step Up 3D, but I just have it on DVD. I don't have the 3D version. I really enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, you might be a Step Up fan.
I've got Step Up 4, Miami Heat, and Step Up 5 all in left to go. I'm excited as fuck, but I'm trying to like make it last. So I'm trying to do one a week.
You have such a weird taste in films.
What do you mean?
Well, like, you're this like horror movie fanatic, but your favourite film is High School Musical and you love Step Up.
It's not normal.
No, it's definitely not.
Like, I'm fully aware of that. Like, I sometimes look at my letterbox. I'm like, let's look at what I've recently watched, and it's just a fucking mess. There's no consistency.
Yeah.
But I kind of also like that.
Yeah, no, it's probably good.
Probably. So, also, remind me when we finish recording to send you a scene from Step Up 3. It's my favourite scene in the series so far. I don't know how they're going to top it. So, Step Up 2 introduces you to this character called Moose. He's amazing. He's so good. I think the next time you visit it, I might just force you to watch 5 Step Up films. I'm just warning you now. It's going to be brilliant. And Moose is this like dorky guy, so you know, relatable, but he can proper bust a move. And Step Up 3, I was kind of expecting him to be like the Channing Tatum in 2, where he'd have like maybe one scene and then disappear. No, he's in it loads. I loved it. It's so good.
Oh god.
And like the series is doing all of the things that just make me happy. So in Step Up 1, Channing Tatum is like adopted, and he's got this like adopted sister as well, right?
Yeah.
And there's a little scene. She's like 9 in the film, and she's like busting these moves. She comes back in Step Up 3 and has this amazing dance bit, and it's like it's the same actress and everything. And I'm like, this movie just does what I want it to do. It's brilliant.
I just don't know how to deal with you. Let's move on, Liam.
Time for like the reviews and shit.
Here's the things that Liam has seen at the cinema, and here are his spoiler-free reviews of those things that he saw at the cinema.
The first thing that I saw at the cinema,
yeah,
that I want to talk about, is The Meg.
This is the one about a megalodon. Yes,
which is basically a giant shark.
Yeah, they're prehistoric sharks that were very, very big.
Very big.
Is it good, Liam?
It should be better.
Yeah, see, I had a feeling it was not going to be very good.
That's the thing. There's a couple of issues. The first, Jason Statham came out like pretty much the week the film was released. I was like, I'm kind of disappointed in it. It's not the script that I signed up for.
Oh, okay.
He signed up for a more violent, bloodier script, and they kind of toned it down a bit to get like I don't know if it's got like a 12A rating or something, but you can tell it's been watered down.
Yeah. This is a thing that studios have been doing recently, right?
Yeah, it's annoying.
Because that's like the sort of initial reviews I've been hearing about Slender.
Oh, I've heard that's shit.
I've heard bad things about it, but I heard someone saying that like there are a bunch of scenes from the trailer.
Yeah.
that were very gory. Like there's that scene of a girl stabbing herself in the eye with a scalpel in the trailer.
I haven't seen the trailer.
Being completely cut from the film.
It has Joey King in it, right? And so we were discussing her before we started recording because we were thinking of doing one of her movies for a culture swap.
Yeah.
And she's the sort of actress... We've discussed her on the podcast before because I remember very distinctly saying to you, I noticed her in this like Taylor Swift music video for Mean.
Yeah.
And you said that was weird.
Yeah, that you noticed it.
Yeah, but like I think she's great, but I don't think she's been given a opportunity yet to show how great she is. Like the movies that she's getting, she needs something good because it just seems like she's getting shit after shit.
Yeah, she needs her break.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything about Slender Man. Kat's like a bit iffy about it because obviously there was that news article quite recently about these like 2 teenage girls that tried to replicate it or something, I think.
Well, they tried to replicate the original, like they stabbed a girl, and claimed Slender Man told them to do it.
Yeah. And then, so Kat's stance is like, oh, is the movie a bit like distasteful or something?
100%, yeah.
Yeah, I'd still go and see it. I'm me. I'll watch pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Back to the Meg.
Yeah, sorry.
That's fine. The thing is, like, Jason Statham versus a giant shark, it should be a good, fun time. And I think the film just doesn't really let itself have fun with it. It just takes it all a little bit too seriously.
Really?
Yeah.
It's called The Meg.
I know. And it's so, like, the first third of the film is everything I wanted it to be. Like, it's quite tense. It's quite funny. It's Jason Statham, like, doing his, like, miserable bastard act and growling his way through it. It's great. And then it just sort of... It just changes pace real quickly, and it just doesn't go good. Like, starts good, and then just it's kind of like they just don't really know what to do. The other thing is, like, to kind of, you know, put characters in peril, they obviously have to get them in the water. So you see characters just falling off of a boat, like, in the most ridiculous of ways, and I don't know, like,
with a megalodon,
you
don't even need to get them off the boat, do you? Can't megalodons are big, couldn't it?
Oh yeah, it could eat a whole boat, but it never does really.
Oh.
So there are some good things. Ruby Rose is in it, and she's superb.
Mm-hmm.
It's also got Masi Oka. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but he was the guy that played Hero in Heroes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I haven't seen him in ages, and I saw his little face come up on the screen and was like, oh, it's Hero from Heroes. I love him.
Yeah, he was fucking great in Heroes.
Yeah, and again, he's good here. You've got Rainn Wilson, who's always good, playing an interesting character here, but also, like, predictable. Statham's fine. Everyone wanted him to roundhouse kick the shark, and that never happens.
That would be quite cool.
Yeah, that is disappointing.
You're not selling me on it, Liam.
No, like, some of the CGI is wonky. A lot of the acting's wonky. It isn't as fun as it should be, and I don't really know. I don't know how to fix that. It just feels like it's maybe not. It feels like it's not aware of the sort of movie it should be.
I mean, is it kind of like? Do you think that those sort of relatively recent films, like Mega Shark vs Giant Squid and stuff, have almost ruined this genre for other films?
I mean, I haven't seen any of them.
No, but you know what they are.
Yeah, that is entirely possible.
So, like, because we're now, I think whenever we see, like, a giant monster thing...
You're expecting a bit of silliness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Now when a film tries to take it seriously, is it almost like everyone's sitting there like, yeah, but this should be funny?
To a degree, but I also think with the Meg, if they wanted it to be taken more seriously, you maybe don't cast Jason Statham as your lead.
That's true.
Like, perfect example. I rewatched just last week Deep Blue Sea.
I've never seen it.
It's a great shark movie.
Is it the one? But do the sharks like get intelligent or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're doing like science and they're trying to cure Alzheimer's, I believe.
Ah, okay.
And to cure it, basically, there's something in the shark's brain that they need to manufacture and harvest as part of the cure. So they've decided to increase the size of the shark's brains, so there's more of this substance that they can extract.
Got you. But they accidentally make them smart.
Exactly. And the sharks learn how to swim backwards.
Is that a plot point?
Yep.
That's fucking amazing.
This is the thing. Deep Blue Sea, right, is a great film because it knows how to not take itself too seriously, but it's quite violent. It's quite, there is. I think it's quite a good example of how to do a shark movie that's fun with an edge.
Okay.
And the Meg needed, I think, more of an edge. It needed more bite, if you will.
Oh, very good.
As it is, 3 out of 5. Just real average.
Yep, fair enough.
Average. Next, I'm going to do a TV show next. Did season 4 of Prison Break. Finish that off.
How's that?
Right. Season 3 ends in a way that's quite interesting. And then season 4 just opens and basically just dismisses the entire, finale of season 3, pretty much, it feels like.
Oh, dear.
All of the, interesting, things that they've laid down to play out in season 4 just basically get dismissed.
Okay, well, that's not good.
No. So season 4 is the last season of Prison Break until they brought it back last year.
Interesting.
So there was I think an 11-year gap or something between season 4 and the season from last year.
Yeah, that is a huge gap.
Yeah. So it's trying to wrap things up, and it's okay. My favourite characters are still kicking around. I obviously can't say who they are because that would be spoilers for previous seasons.
Yeah.
It is just more of the same, though. When I very, very first watched Prison Break, way back, I actually gave up on season 4 because I hated it so much. And revisiting it,
yeah,
it's not as bad as I initially thought it was. Maybe I've just mellowed out, though, in my old age.
God, imagine that, listeners. This is mellowed out, Liam.
Yeah, let's imagine that.
Hell on earth. Yeah. So you didn't hate it as much as you remember hating it.
No, I'd give it 2.5 out of 5. It has
not very good.
So this is a new character they introduced in season 4, but it has Michael Rappaport in it.
Who's he?
You'd recognise him if you saw him, and he has a very distinctive voice. He's in Atypical. He's in so many things. Hang on, I want to see if I can help you figure it out.
Should I not Google him?
No, let me see if I can name a film that you've seen. He is also in Deep Blue Sea, which I enjoyed when I saw that, but that doesn't help you. Yeah, just Google him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do know who he is.
Cool. Yeah, so he plays a cool character in it. They do this weird thing, right? So it's 24 episodes. They kind of end everything in episode 22.
Right.
And at the end of episode 22, they do a jump forward of a year and a half or something like that. And then the last 2 episodes, they fill in the blank of what happened in that year and a half gap.
What?
Yeah. It's just what?
Why?
I think initially the last 2 episodes was almost a made-for-TV movie that they did to wrap things up. But it doesn't quite play right when you go back to it.
No, I mean that sounds weird. It almost sounds like they're just shoehorning 2 more episodes in.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. It is. It was odd. But yeah, 2.5 out of 5 for Prison Break season 4.
Not very good.
Then I saw Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah, which I've heard good things about from you.
Yeah. Have you seen any of the other Mission Impossible films?
I have seen the first... What number is this?
I want to say 6.
You know what? I think I've seen them all except the last one, maybe?
Which I believe was Ghost Protocol? Oh, no, Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
Rogue Nation was the last one.
Oh, maybe I don't know. I've either seen all of them or not the one before this.
So you've got the first Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Which I thought was okay. It's more of a spy film than an action film.
Yeah.
There's one element to the Mission Impossible films that I've never been able to get on board with.
The fact that the missions are never impossible.
No, the whole face mask bullshit.
Yeah, that's a bit weird.
I've just never been able to get on board with it, but whatever. Then you have Mission Impossible 2, where it's more action than spy. It's too much action. 2 is not a good film. Then you've got Mission Impossible 3, where I think they get the balance right. You've got J.J. Abrams directing it. You've got Philip Seymour Hoffman playing the villain, who does a perfect job.
Yeah. 3
is a fantastic film. Of not including Fallout, 3 was my favourite.
Fair enough.
Then you had Ghost Protocol, which introduces Jeremy Renner, and it kind of felt like they were almost gearing up Jeremy Renner to kind of hand off the franchise to him.
Yeah.
But I think Ghost Protocol did really well.
Which one's the one? Which one introduces Simon Pegg's character?
That's in 3.
Is he in 3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he's got that J.J. Abrams connection.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So that's how he gets involved. And then you've got the 5th one, which is Rogue Nation. Now, if you haven't seen 5, I would recommend watching it before Fallout, because it's the first time in this franchise where actually the stories do kind of tie into each other. Not massively. Like, you could go into Fallout without seeing Rogue Nation, and you're not going to miss a whole lot. But I think you'd get a richer experience if you are familiar with Rogue Nation.
Okay.
And it feels like by the time they hit like number 4 and number 5, they kind of just struck on what makes these films good. And what it is, it's making Tom Cruise do fucking ridiculous stunts.
Yeah, which he actually does. And Mission Impossible Fallout, you're basically watching it going, this is Tom Cruise literally risking his life to entertain me. Yeah. Well, I think was it in the last one where what's the one where he like is on a cord out of a building, running around the edge of a building?
I think that's the 4th one.
Okay, I think that's the one I've seen.
The big famous stunt from the last one, which you will have heard about, was him hanging on the side of a plane as it takes off.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. In this one, it's just...
Is the big stunt, or is it all? Are you going to say it's just all big stunts?
There's like 3 or 4 huge stunts.
Because I know there's the one where he like broke his wrist, right? Or
he broke his ankle doing a jump across like
to a building
in London.
Yeah.
That isn't even one of the biggest stunts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you've got he does a halo jump.
High altitude, low opening.
Yeah. Which and the thing is, like, because it's him doing it, the director, Christopher McQuarrie, like, really makes a point of shooting it in a way where it is like, you know, it's him doing it.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this isn't someone just like, isn't a stunt dude and they've just CGI'd Tom Cruise's face onto it.
Yeah, they're just like very obviously being like, look at Tom Cruise doing this.
The best example is there's a scene where he's on a motorbike without a helmet, riding through oncoming traffic at a decent speed, and you're just like, there is no way that you know, it could be anyone else but Tom Cruise doing that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so first, I just have to, like, one of my favourite things in films is like ridiculously good stunts.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And I just have to, like, I have to give props to Tom Cruise. Ignore like all of his like Scientology, jumping on couches, all that bullshit. He's good at being an entertainer in movies.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty like accepted opinion.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, I want to go see this Tom Cruise action film because I know that it will be a good time just watching him like do crazy.
Just watching
shit.
him practically kill himself to entertain me.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Henry Cavill is great.
Yeah.
So you've got the stunts, and that's what everyone's talking about. But it wouldn't really be a particularly good film if you didn't have a good story to go with it. And the story is decent. And the other thing is, it feels like in the last couple, they've really like minimised the whole face swapping bullshit that I can't stand. It's
so I'm assuming there's not much of that in this one.
It's still there, but it's not as prominent. The other thing is, I've never particularly liked Simon Pegg in these films. I just think he just sticks out like a sore thumb, and
he plays that sort of very stereotypical role.
Yeah, and in the
of like the comedic gadget guy.
Yeah,
right?
In the last couple, he's been like, oh, I want to get into the field and all that sort of stuff. So they start putting him into more of these like positions. I think in the last film, there's a scene where Tom Cruise is riding around like doing all this crazy stunt driving with Simon Pegg as the passenger.
Of course.
Yeah. And I feel like in Fallout they finally like figured out how to use his character in a way that doesn't make me want to punch him.
Oh, okay.
So that was nice.
Pleasant surprise.
Yeah, and it's probably been one of my favourite films I've seen at cinema so far this year, which I honestly wasn't expecting.
No, that's high praise.
Yeah, like it's a real good 4 out of 5. To the point where I want to go see it again.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, but Kat's not that fussed about seeing it, which is annoying because I think she'd like it. But whatever. You can lead a horse to water.
Yep, very, very good metaphor, Liam.
Yeah. But yeah, if you've seen the others, but you haven't seen like the last one, get that watched and then get this watched.
All right, fair enough. We'll do.
Then I've got a birthday surprise for you.
Just to remind listeners, last time Liam did me a birthday surprise, he told me that he was going to finish watching Attack on Titan, which is an anime that I recommended for Culture Swap early on.
Yeah.
Back before
it was episode. I mean,
it's quite recent that we've done. Yeah, and it's quite recently that we've instituted we do the whole series. Now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we used to watch
just
the first
6.
3 hours.
Yeah, basically. So if it was a 20-minute show,
series?
it'd be like 6 episodes. If it was an hour-long show, it'd be like the 3 episodes.
Yeah. So Liam had promised he would finish Attack on Titan and didn't.
I did 10 episodes.
Didn't finish it though. So I'm excited for my birthday surprise this time.
It's a review that I've got for you.
Is it that you finished reading American Psycho?
No.
Because then I wouldn't have to.
No. I watched all of season 1 of Queer Eye.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Because you were like banging on about it, and I think even when you reviewed it on the show, and I was a bit sniffy about it.
You were.
Bit dismissive, maybe some might say.
I mean, you've been watching it and spoken about it on the show though.
Yeah, well, I actually I made an effort to finish it so I
Okay.
could review it on your birthday special.
Okay, well that's good. What did you think, Liam?
For the most part, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did tell you would.
Yeah, it's not as like trash TV as I was expecting it to be. It's very wholesome and pure, and you know, it makes you feel a little bit better about this dumpster fire of a world that we live on.
Exactly.
I think Karamo is my favourite.
Yeah, you've said that since the beginning.
Yeah. Then it's probably a tie between Anthony and Tan.
Okay.
Then
I already know what order you're going to put them in.
No, you don't.
So
No, you don't. Then
has Jonathan moved up?
Jonathan's moved up.
Oh my goodness.
Then it's Jonathan, then it's Bobby.
Yeah, I think they just underused Bobby.
It feels like the only time they really used him is in the religion episode.
Yeah.
And like Bobby probably contributes the most as well, because like the shit he does with the makeovers, like the room makeovers.
He redoes their whole house.
Yeah, it's good. The thing is, there are several episodes where Bobby comes onto the screen and I'm like, how has Tan not pulled him to one side and been like, we need to talk about your wardrobe?
I think they do make a joke about that in season 2.
Okay, I do want to watch season 2.
I think Bobby turns up. Oh, what does he do? He turns up in something like outrageous, and I think Tan does sort of is like, what are you doing to me?
Good. Okay. Yeah. Because there's a few outfits he's worn, and I'm just like, no. Just no. That should not be worn by anyone.
Hey, Bobby's his own man. He just, he's not going to be tied down by society's norms.
Evidently. I think my favourite episode was probably the one with the police officer.
Yeah, that is a good one.
I liked the kind of like message that one was putting across. I did like the first episode as well. But yeah, that was my favourite, I think.
Yeah, the whole like...
Yeah.
Karamo and the policeman having that chat in the car.
Yeah, that was brilliant. There was a couple of episodes that didn't quite work for me. I didn't massively like the religious one.
I liked that one.
But
I think on that one it's more the Queer Eye folk learning.
I just didn't like the guy that much.
He's fine.
I don't know. I had issues with it. And I didn't massively like the Below Average Joe episode with the guy that wants to be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Because it felt like there was a bit in it, right? It feels like almost every episode has a bit where... And it's normally at the same point of the episode where it gets a bit emotional. And it's normally when like they're saying goodbye.
Yeah.
And it for some reason, just in this Below Average Joe episode, they call him onto the bed and they're having their like heart-to-heart with him. And it feels like they're trying to tap into this emotional level. And this guy is just completely stonewalling them.
Yeah, I think he was the most closed off to them. Like not in a closed off in like a...
It wasn't like standoffish or anything.
I think he was just a very shy, insular person.
Yeah, and they didn't really, I don't think... They pulled him out of his shell to an extent, but just not as much as we've seen in the other episodes.
No, but it does have a very lovely bit at the end where he's sort of dating that girl.
Yeah, which he just doesn't talk about in the entire episode. Then suddenly it's like, oh, by the way...
Yeah.
My takeaways from the show. I want some spin-off shows. I've spoken to you about them in the past. I can't remember what my titles were. I had really good titles for them.
Beer Eye for the cider guy?
No. What was it? It was one where it was basically the Queer Eye guys just fixing the world's problems. So like they would go and talk to
that'd
like
be good.
racist cops and stuff, and they'd learn.
Oh, I thought you just were going to say Donald Trump.
That'd be good. They would just go and talk to stupid people and teach them not to be stupid. But the
Yeah.
show that I really, really want, I think the title I have for this was like queer commentary or something. They just watch straight people do shit and comment on it. Because my favourite bit is when they're in their loft and they're watching like the guys like get ready for whatever it is, and they're watching them try and learn like the lessons they've been told.
Yeah, and they never quite get
They
it
never
right.
quite get it right. And like honestly, just watching the Fab Five like just commentate on it is an absolute joy. I want an entire show that's just that.
Yeah, I do always enjoy a scene where like Tan is going, "Oh no, I told him not to wear that. I told him
Yeah.
he's doing and then Tan goes, "Actually, it works. I'm fine
Yeah,
with it."
or be like, actually, there's just like one very specific thing that I don't hate, so I'll let him off.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, that coat's
He
good.
did wear those new shoes I got.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he did good.
I love that. I love just like, you know, when they're all just like being really supportive, and just like yelling at the screen.
Yes.
And yeah, I just that just I think should be its own show. Just they watch just straight people trying to figure out stuff. Be amazing.
You just want them to watch you.
No, I would hate that. I would genuinely hate that. They would have so much ammunition. They'd be like,
Yeah.
why have we just spent the last hour just staring at a locked bathroom door?
What's he doing in there?
Why is Kat bringing...
Wait, his girlfriend's just walked in with 3 towels.
What's going on? Oh, yeah, that'd be awful. But yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. 4 out of 5.
Told
Happy
you.
birthday.
Thank you.
So, what have you been up to?
I've been in a field in Scotland, so I haven't watched anything.
Yeah, but you could have taken a book. So here we go.
I
American
did
Psycho.
I did take a book and then didn't have time to read
Did you
it.
take American Psycho?
Oh yeah, because it's on my Kindle on my phone.
Yeah. And why didn't you read it?
Because I didn't have time. We were doing stuff.
What about
The whole
at
time.
night
Yeah, we were doing stuff. We were hanging out by the fire talking.
to the French people?
No, to each other.
If that's all camping is, I'm gonna just get so sick of it. If it's just
No,
talking
that
to
was
you,
just the night.
just talking to you all day and all night. Ugh.
We do that on the weekends where I come down.
Yeah, but we do that in warmth. With
Yeah, there was a fire.
we watch films.
That bit you might struggle
Yeah,
with.
will. All right. Housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
Let's keep the house.
Let's do it.
Have you watched any more Glow or done any of that sort of stuff?
Nope, like I said, been in a field in Scotland.
Cool. I mean, that was for 1 week.
Yeah, we recorded our last episode
weeks ago.
the week before I left.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to. I was editing one episode. I didn't have time to edit the other episode.
I edited
'cause I was
it. It
packing.
was easy.
Yeah, Liam edited it, folks. I haven't listened to it because I don't want to, because I'm scared that it will be just shit.
It was easy.
Liam doesn't edit the way I edit.
What's the way you edit?
Properly.
Which
I
is?
can't believe you walked into that. I set that up and you walked into it like a fool.
I don't think you do edit properly.
I do.
I disagree.
How long did it take you to edit it, Liam?
How long was the episode? Like an hour and a half?
Exactly, yeah.
So maybe like 2 hours total.
Yeah, so you didn't do it right. Whatever.
This is what I don't
Let's not
understand.
get into this on
How
the
has
show.
it taken you like 8 hours to edit an episode?
Because I edit it properly.
I don't understand what you do differently.
Well, whatever.
Well, I think all of our listeners are waiting to find out.
I don't think our listeners give a shit.
Some might.
I don't think they do.
Oh,
Tell me who's been tweeting us, Liam.
Amanda tweeted us.
What did she say?
Had to take a break from your barefoot gen conversation. I haven't watched the movie, but just listening to what happens made me start crying. I don't know how to respond to this being Liam Underwood's favourite anime. Right, livid. Absolutely livid.
You're livid.
I'm livid.
Why?
We specifically say at the start of Culture Swap, if you haven't seen Barefoot Gen, stop listening.
Don't have
We're
a go.
gonna spoil it.
Such a dick.
Watch this
People, if
beautiful
they haven't
anime.
seen it, they can still listen to the episode.
But we spoil it.
It's not, Liam, you can't spoil the Hiroshima bomb.
But you can spoil Barefoot Gen. Who lives, who dies? Spoil.
Liam, I don't think. No.
Spoil.
That's just. No. You could. No.
Spoil. Absolutely livid.
Liam, you can't spoil Barefoot again.
Absolutely livid. I did go back to Amanda and I did explain the reason why it's my favourite anime is just because it makes me feel things. And
Yeah, which is a novel experience for you.
yeah, and I just... because it makes me feel things so viscerally, I can't help but just love it for that. Even though they're not good feelings, I still can't help but love it. She did say that she'll likely watch it eventually, but now she knows she's going to need to prepare herself. And Amanda said she was wondering if I gravitate towards sad anime, or is it more that I just haven't seen as much Happy Affair? And the thing with anime, right, I just haven't seen a lot of it at all. Like, not necessarily like sad. Like, I've seen Beth again, I've seen Grave of the Fireflies. They're two of your probably saddest animes. I've watched Your Name, I've watched Princess Mononoke.
Mononoke?
Yeah.
You don't add the extra on and on.
I've watched Spirited Away, and that's probably about it, right? It's not a whole lot.
Yeah, you've got a lot you need to watch.
Exactly. So I don't think I necessarily gravitate towards a certain, vibe. I just am quite ignorant to it all.
Okay.
Amanda did say, would I be open to doing her favourite anime for Culture Swap the next time she guests?
Ooh.
And I said I would. I said I doubt you would object, but I thought, let's check.
Oh, you're checking with me now for these things?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good of you. Did she say what it was?
Yep.
What is it?
It's Studio Ghibli.
Ooh, which one?
It is Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh, Amanda, I was literally... As soon as Liam listed the animes that he hasn't seen, I was like, I should really get him to watch Howl's Moving Castle. So, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Alright, so you arrange with Amanda when she's going to come and guest, and we'll do Howl's Moving Castle.
Why is that my job? Anyway, yeah, sure.
Amanda said she saw it 7 times in cinemas.
It's very good.
Yeah, cool. Tom Hogan tweeted us.
What did Tom say?
I also felt like I was on an emotional roller coaster just from your discussion. Not sure whether I want to watch it more or less now. Why is everyone listening to it after we had that disclaimer?
Because if you're not going to... It's one of those things. I watch stuff, like reviews of shit that I'm not going to watch.
Livid.
And we also, again,
Absolutely
it's whatever.
Livid.
The fact that Tom is thinking about watching it after listening to us is good. Also, Tom, I would say you should probably watch it.
Make Frankie watch it.
No, please don't force Frankie to watch it, because...
Please do.
Frankie's heart will be broken by this film. I think if she wants to watch it, she should.
No horses are injured in the making of the film.
No, but I have watched sad films with Frankie, and we have both been in tears, and I know she will cry at this film.
Yeah?
Probably a lot.
That's fine.
Okay.
The thing, what concerns me, right, is... One of the things that I like about this film is it feels like a punch in the face, okay?
Yeah.
And I do wonder if someone listens to us discussing it first, and we talk about all of the punches that come, is it still going to hit as hard if someone watches it?
Yeah, probably.
I hope so, but it just concerns me.
I mean, again, Liam, it's not like a secret event that happened. People know about Hiroshima.
Yeah, I know, but they don't know the way it's depicted in the film until we obviously discuss it in great detail.
Yeah, but we don't talk about everything. We do talk about a lot.
Yeah.
We don't talk about everything. I think us talking about it probably does not do it justice.
Oh, definitely.
In terms of I think even if you... Because I knew some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like the bomb scene.
Yeah.
I had heard about before.
Yeah.
And even then, that, like I said, that just makes me cry in a way that I've never cried before.
Yeah. I think either Amanda or Tom should watch it and let us know how it affects them after listening to us discuss it first.
Yeah, okay.
Amanda said that she came back to the episode after a break to get unsad.
Yeah.
She says she does intend to watch Barefoot again. And then she said to you, what did you learn from reading about the pilots / crew of the planes who dropped the bombs? Her aunt just told her that she interviewed one of the crew. Yeah,
which is really interesting. I meant to reply, and I replied to it when I just woke up.
Yeah.
So I didn't do a proper in-depth reply, but I meant to ask what her aunt had, or whether that was what that was for.
Yeah,
if you could see it anywhere.
Yeah.
Because that sounds really interesting.
Yeah. She also said that the dream that I shared at the end of the episode was a good light-hearted way to wrap up a sad culture swap.
What was the dream? I was trying to remember.
It was the one about Donald Trump sniffing my books.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Did you want to answer her question about... Because I know you tweeted it, but did you
I think I also... Didn't I speak about it in the episode?
You did, but clearly Amanda wasn't paying full attention. So... I'm joking. Sorry, Amanda.
Yeah, no, I just, I was saying that basically their sort of view on the whole thing was that it was something that had to happen to stop the war before more lives got lost in there was a potential invasion of Japan going to happen.
Yeah.
So that was their attitude. And then I said to Amanda, for me, that it feels like that can't be the only two options.
Yeah.
It can't be we either invade and kill a lot of people or drop a bomb and kill a lot of people. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Fair enough. That's it for housekeeping.
Oh, is it Liam?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's just one tiny little thing.
Yeah, no.
Well, actually, Liam, it's quite a large thing, because last time I asked you how many films you had to watch, it was 1,100.
Look.
I like when I know it's going to be an increase, because you get very serious.
It's not. It's just it's disappointing.
Okay.
Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
I've done really fucking well with my movie watching these last couple of weeks. Really fucking well.
Did one of the big box sets arrive?
No, just 3 weeks ago, right? Between July the 23rd and the 29th, I watched 10 films.
That's pretty good.
Between July 30th and August 5th, I watched 10 films.
Yep, so this number should be way down. I mean, you should be... Liam, I mean...
Are we adding this up? Are we adding this up?
That's 20.
That's funny.
Liam, yeah, so you'd be below your target. By a margin.
Between August 6th and August 12th...
Yeah?
I watched 12 films.
Okay, so we're up to 32.
I've done really fucking well with my film watching.
Yeah, I mean, Liam, I'm just going to write in now. 1,000... What would that be? 1,050 something. It's incredible.
The thing is, life doesn't work that way. Because some of those were cinema watches.
Yeah?
I brought some stuff.
Yeah, so they don't count.
I brought some stuff.
They don't count.
They don't count. I brought some stuff.
Yeah, that adds to the number.
So the number has gone down. Just not as much as I feel it should have.
Here's the question, Liam.
Yeah.
Has it gone down more than 9?
What would that have put it at?
So if it's below 1,091, then you're below your target.
Okay. It's 1,093.
So no.
That's a hard no, that is.
Yeah, that's
But
out of you saw 32 films and your number's only gone down 7. How much did you buy?
Well,
a lot.
Well, I think my 10 criterions that I ordered arrived. Just some films that came. You know, that Step Up box set didn't help, did it? That probably arrived. No. Here's the thing as well. I've nearly watched all of the Abbott and Costello films now.
Okay.
There's 38 of them or something, and I've watched 34, and the last 5 I had waiting to watch arrived. Just things are arriving.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I know. I'm aware.
Well, there you go. You've only got to watch 2 more and not buy anything, and you'll be below your target. And then you've just got to keep that number that low for a year. Sorry, not a year, half a year. Less than that.
Yeah.
4 months.
I think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, you sure?
No. Barnes and Noble have another Criterion sale coming up in November.
I will let you know as well, Liam. You were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 counts of this ago. 10 times ago that we did this.
Yeah.
You were at 1,093.
10 episodes ago.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 before that.
Yeah.
You were at 1,093. The episode before that, you were at 1,089. And yet somehow you have never beaten this challenge.
Yeah.
So
it's it's a hard challenge, isn't it?
Not really.
It's a hard challenge. But I'm confident that I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, right? I had a long period where I was going out a lot. I was doing bike riding and all this stuff. I wasn't watching...
You went bike riding 3 times.
Yeah, I wasn't watching my films. Honestly, right? So you know how I was just I watched 10 films, then 12 films?
Yeah.
I had a period of 3 weeks where I watched 1 film a week.
Yeah, so is that going to happen again is the question.
Well, that's the real,
We will see.
We'll see. But if I can carry on this trend of watching at least 10 a week, I'm going to smash it.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if I buy more films. As long as I don't buy more than 10 films a week, I absolutely smash it.
Yeah, so all you've got to hope is that there isn't a Criterion sale in November.
No, there is.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
So...
That's going to fuck you then.
I'm going to get fucked right in the ass.
Culture swap.
Swap my culture.
Liam, as we said at the beginning of the show, this time it's my birthday. As listeners know, on our birthdays, we get to pick what we watch.
Last year, you really rocked the boat and picked Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, listeners that listen to that's probably one of the key episodes. I'm aware that I've got a reputation as the angry one. I think I've done quite well this episode.
So far.
I blame hormones, Liam.
Sure.
I think that's fair. I'm filling my body with them, so who knows what the fuck I'm on. I'm like wild.
Yeah, okay.
But I have a reputation as the angry one. I'm aware of that. I think that episode is probably one of the key episodes that I could point to and go, Liam can do that too. And I think you were maybe unreasonably angry.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I believe you accused me in that episode of like trying to sabotage you and just
You tried
being
to
shit.
ruin my
trying to
honour.
make you. What was that?
You tried to ruin my honour with the listeners.
Yeah, which was a ridiculous argument because that's your own fault. But anyway, we don't need to get into it.
No.
So this time
you
I
did
did
a much better pick this time.
I caved into your annoying demands. Didn't give you an anime, which I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And instead we did Her Story, a web series by Jen Richards and Laura Zach. This web series, listeners,
Yeah.
it's the story of two transgender women who you follow through the web series as they sort of deal with their romantic life and like the issues that being transgender throws into those situations. So, you know, it hits pretty close time for me, because I'm also a transgender woman.
Yes.
But I don't have the romance part, so, you know.
Not yet.
Yay.
Give it time. See, that was a nice thing for me to say on your birthday episode.
Yeah, thanks, Liam.
That's all right. So, it's important to say, one, there's going to be spoilers.
Yep. We are going to spoil Her Story. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's only 6
short.
episodes, and each episode is 10 minutes.
It's less than 10 minutes, some of them.
That's true, yeah. I think they said the runtime is like 54 minutes or something.
Okay. The other important thing to note, we are both approaching this from way different perspectives.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So if I come across sounding like ignorant or dumb, what's new?
I mean, here's the counter argument. Not a counter argument. Here's just a point, Liam. Right? The sort of currently accepted statistic, which is probably slightly inaccurate, is I believe 0.1% of the population are transgender.
Really?
Yeah, it's really low.
That's tiny.
So yeah, we're a very small minority.
Is there a smaller minority?
I mean, yeah, there's that island that hasn't had contact with the rest of the world because every time anyone turns up, they shoot arrows at them. They're probably smaller than us.
Okay.
But yeah, so like, I think you're probably going to be coming at it from the same perspective that our listeners will be coming at it from.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to be coming from a much more educated experience.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, the first thing that I thought was interesting is we discussed this earlier today, and what I thought it was about was different to what you thought it was about.
Well, I knew it was what it was about because I've. Oh wait, what? Sorry. I thought you were going to make a different point. What are you saying?
Well, so when we were discussing it, I was like, for me, what I thought this show is about was like what it's like to date as either a lesbian or a trans woman. Whereas you said it was about how society treats trans people.
Yeah, which I think it is.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. So that's interesting. Just a very like, you know, we both took away a completely different like main theme of this show. Well,
no, don't get me wrong. Like the bit of this show that is like the main story.
Yeah,
is one transgender woman, sort of accepting that she's a lesbian and like how she comes together with a lesbian who is dealing with what it means to date someone who's transgender.
Yeah,
and the other story is a transgender woman dating a straight man, and sort of the same thing. Like, how does
that felt more like a B plot, which was a shame because I almost found that more interesting to some degree.
Well, because you're a straight man and you like when you're represented and stuff.
It wasn't even that so much. It was like, because neither of those were like my favourite characters. I just felt like I had issues with some of the stuff that was going on in the main story.
Okay.
And I felt like this like B plot, if you will, deserved a bit more time dedicated to it.
I don't think it is a B plot. I think most of the like stuff online accepts it as the two stories going on side by side.
They are, but I feel like when it comes to how much time is dedicated to both, I think
yeah, Violet and Ali's relationship,
gets
which
a
is
lot more
the
time.
trans woman and lesbian, yeah, they do get more screen time.
So that's why I'm saying it's more of a B plot, just because there's less time dedicated to it.
Okay.
So you have Violet, who is a trans woman. You have Ali, who is a lesbian who writes for... It's not a newspaper, is it?
No, I think it's like a magazine.
Yeah.
But it's a magazine for lesbian women.
Yeah. Then you got
predominantly
Paige, who's another trans woman.
Mm-hmm.
James, who is a straight guy.
Yeah.
And then you've just got like secondary characters basically after that.
Yeah.
Those are like the main... Oh, well, I guess the other guy that's worth mentioning is Mark.
Yeah.
So those are like your main players, if you will. Although Mark is more of a secondary character, I guess.
He is, but he's more important.
First impressions, for some reason, I don't know why, I think I even said it on the last episode, I thought this was a documentary.
Which is weird.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be... I don't even know where I got this thought from, but I thought it was going to be 6 episodes. Each one would have been a different trans person talking about their experience.
Yeah, I
don't know why I
have
thought
no idea
that.
where you got that from.
I fuck knows. Not a clue. So the first episode really threw me.
Yeah, because you were like, this doesn't feel like a documentary.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure this is scripted.
They've got some incredible camera shots for a documentary.
I have to admit, I was not a fan of it after the first episode. I was like, I don't see what they're trying to do here.
I think the first episode is trying to set stuff up. I think this is one of the, like, maybe not flaws with web series. Well, I guess it's a flaw, but not in like a fuck web series way.
Yeah.
But especially with something that's such a short format where you've got like 10 minutes or whatever to get your episode across. Like that first episode, you've got to try and like set up your characters, just not even like an in-depth thing.
Yeah, you don't have a
like,
lot of time.
Here are these characters, here's what they do, done.
Yeah.
So the first episode definitely is not the best episode.
Yeah, like I just didn't even know what point the show was trying to make at that point.
Yeah.
It does get better. So I would say, like, if any of you listeners are listening to this and again have just like decided to not watch it but just listen to us talk about it for some ludicrous reason,
I completely understand, but Liam doesn't.
Yeah. If you do decide to then go on and watch this, just stick with it past episode 1.
Which again, they're only like 10 minutes maximum, so it's easy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a big ask.
No.
I have to say, so Ellie's my favourite character, but she nearly like absolutely just ruined it in I think the second episode.
Yeah. So there's one of the main plots of the web series is that Ellie, this lesbian journalist, she's writing an article about trans people.
Yeah.
She sees Violet when Violet's working her waitressing job. And the first episode, there's a whole thing where she's trying to figure out how you approach someone and say, are you trans?
Yeah, which you're not meant to do.
The answer is no. The answer is you don't, because that's just kind of douchebaggy.
Yeah.
But then it also deals with the fact that...
So, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
If you're in Ali's shoes and you do want to write an article about, like, a trans person's experience, what is the best way to approach?
Post somewhere where trans people are?
Like, online?
Yeah, like in the Reddit forums and stuff.
Okay. Like, because I get that you're not meant to just go up to someone and ask, but equally, if you're trying to... If you're not trans yourself, but you're trying to represent their experience somehow, you know, because that's not necessarily, like, a bad thing to be doing.
No, it's not.
What's the best way of doing that?
The issue with doing it, like, to a random stranger like she does, is, like, a lot of trans women... There's a whole part of trans... There's not trans women... trans people. Yeah. There's like a whole thing about going stealth, which is where a trans person has got to a point where they don't necessarily pass, but they you know, they can live as their gender. Yeah. And they don't have to be this openly trans person, because a lot of people don't want that.
Which they kind of show in the show with Paige to a degree, I think.
Yeah, Paige is kind of doing that.
Yeah.
Like, she's not ashamed. Like, these people aren't ashamed of being trans.
But they're equally not shouting about it.
No, and they don't have to, because it's not... It doesn't need... It shouldn't... Like, we shouldn't have to be fighting for our rights, because it's ridiculous that we're having to. Yeah. So I totally get why people would not want to be doing it, and are like, I just want to live my life. Yeah. So the issue with then going up to someone and asking is, like, if you get someone who is trans, you are saying, the only thing, I guarantee, the only thing that trans person is going to be thinking is, what... Like, how did you clock me? What gave me... What did I fuck up? Yeah. Like, there's no happy thing for the trans person there where they're like, oh, great, I'm being represented. They're just like, cool, great, I didn't pass. Yeah. This person figured it out. Yeah, yeah. Like, also, does that mean everyone here is going to know? And am I going to get the shit kicked out of me?
Yeah. Is that always like
post online?
That whole like, am I going to get the shit kicked out of me? Like, I understand that happens more frequently than it should with trans people, but is that something that is always like in the back of your mind?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, because I guess it's like
I've not had a negative experience yet.
Yeah.
But when I went to like the work party,
Yeah.
On the way home I was like, cool, I just need to like, especially as you get further out of London, like I know London's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because central London, there's a lot of people, and most people there are going to be not weird, but everyone's just keeping to themselves.
Yeah.
And there's a more of a variety of people.
Mm-hmm.
But the further out you get, like, you do have to sort of pay attention, just to be like, what if there is a drunk dickhead on my train?
Yeah.
Who is going to be like, oh, I'm going to beat the shit out of this person because they're different to me.
Yeah. But is that the? Cause from I guess it's sort of like the reason why I'm asking is obviously I've never had this, and it's exactly the same with like women like walking home at night. They've kind of got to constantly be like on their guard almost, like aware of their surroundings and all this sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I've never really had to experience that, so I can't really imagine what it must be like to like constantly have that like in the back of your mind.
I mean, it's just annoying.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Like, part of it as well, I get like, especially when I'm drunk, I'm more confident about it.
Yeah.
I'm aware, like, it's weird because I'm aware of being careful, but I'm also not like hiding or anything.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a weird mix, and it isn't not interesting. It shouldn't be something that I have to worry about. No. But it is.
Yeah. But yeah, I just didn't know if that was something that like how much of a concern that is, I guess. Yeah, no,
it's a concern in that I know it happens.
Yeah, okay.
And especially like with some of the stuff going on in America at the moment, it's worse over there. Like, there have been a lot of transgender people killed this year.
Yeah. Is there anywhere where it's not bad?
There are places that are more accepting.
Like where?
But you're always going to get I think someone was saying Portugal's pretty good, which is weird.
I guess like the only other place I'm aware of, just because I know a lot of like operations and surgery and stuff happens there, is like Thailand, I think.
Yeah, but then the Thai have got their own thing going on with it. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know how. That.
No, but I mean, there's the whole ladyboy culture in Thailand.
So what's that?
Well, I mean, you know what the negative stereotype of a ladyboy is.
Yeah.
So that.
But is that something that people like play up to or something then?
No. It's just that there's a lot of trans people have to go into sex work to make money. That's the thing. Which is
addressed in this web series.
Yeah. Violet in her past worked as a sex worker.
Yeah.
To make money to pay for her transition.
Okay. Is that more of an American issue?
I think it happens everywhere that there are trans people, but it is probably more of an issue because they're having to pay it all out of their own pocket.
Yeah.
Or a lot of them are. I think some insurances are starting to cover it, but not many.
Okay.
So it's that kind of thing. Like, so there's a stereotype, especially in the, fairly recently, but the 90s and stuff. Like, there were trans people weren't, like, we're in a phase where people are starting to like, see us and be like, I shouldn't be a dick about these people.
Yeah, I'd say
they're not just a crazy fetishist.
It's probably what, like late 80s, early 90s, that just like gay guys started getting some level of acceptance and representation.
Exactly, yeah.
And you think, so now we're like 20 years on from that, and it's no longer really, not like by most people, like majority of people.
There still are negative views and stuff that people have.
Yeah, but most people are very accepting, and it's been very embraced. So do you foresee that in like as the trans community is probably at the same level as where like the gay community was in the early 90s, do you foresee in the next like 20 years there will be more general acceptance, or is it like, I don't know, being part of the community, is it hard to kind of...
No, I see things that make me positive about it.
Yeah.
And then I see other stuff that makes me less positive. Like, again, America at the moment is a mix of horribly shitty things happening and good things happening in some places. Like, I think another transgender woman just got... what did she get? I think she's won some like being voted into a position...
Oh, like political or something.
Yeah. But then at the same time, there was that story recently about the young girl in a school who was transgender used the girls' bathroom, which she never used. She always used a staff bathroom, but had been just gone to a middle school, didn't know where the staff bathroom was, so used the girls' toilets, like she should be able to because she is a girl.
Yeah.
A parent found out and posted on Facebook in this group, and it just escalated into death threats to a young girl.
That's ridiculous.
Yep, it's honestly disgusting.
And was that from
Only
parents?
one of the parents was actually at the school, but the others were parents at other schools.
That were posting the death threats?
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Because I think as well, like when I see like, or when I hear about things like death threats online, I just imagine it being like losers in their parents' basements, like usually kind of teenage to, you know, like early 20s males, you know, like that sort of stereotype.
Yeah.
So the thought of it also being like, you know, parents, it's like, well, no,
yes, the
no
idea
wonder.
of a parent threatening to kill someone else's kid.
Fucked up.
Yeah, it's real fucked up.
Like,
but that's what I mean. So there's like this weird mix of positivity and horribly negative things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it will get better because I tend to believe that humanity does slowly get better. I mean, it does. The West is better than it used to be. Like you said, gay people are starting to get way more accepted.
Yeah.
Racism's hopefully getting lower. In the mass public, I think it is, but there are still a lot of issues there.
It's coming back, it feels like. It's making a comeback, which is a weird thing to say, but
yeah,
it does feel that way because of, you look at like what's happened politically, and it's almost given racists this misbelief that it's now okay.
Yeah.
Which
it's a tricky one.
It's a shame.
Yeah, no, it is.
So going back to because I don't think I actually ended up discussing my issue that I had with Ali in episode 2.
Yes, sorry, yeah.
So Ali, my favourite character, but there was a conversation that I just couldn't get my head around, and I watched this last night, and I was talking to you, and you rewatched the scene, so you might have to just correct me where I'm a little bit wrong on it. But she's basically saying something along the lines of, if she fancies a trans woman, Ali becomes very concerned what that means for her as her status as a lesbian.
Yeah, she's having a so the like setup to it is she's having a conversation with her 3 sort of, they seem like her close lesbian friends.
Yeah, one of them's really turfy and just awful.
Yeah, one of them is very much like misgendering Violet, but just says a lot of shit that is not nice.
Yeah.
One of the other ones sort of agrees with her, but not as extremely. But
The
it's
blonde
still
one.
Yeah, but she's still like, well, you know, it's got a dick, so it's straight. And then Ali and the other one are more on the other side of like, well, why?
Yeah.
Why does it matter?
Yeah.
But Ali does then leaves because she's annoyed.
Yeah.
With the sort of other one that's on her side, and they have a discussion about where Ali is basically like, does it make me less of a lesbian?
Yeah, and it was at this point that I just was a bit exasperated.
Yeah, which I get because.
Well, to me, it felt like. It feels like these labels, right, that like are either like self-assigned or assigned to you or whatever. Like, okay, you're a woman, you're attracted to other women, therefore you're a lesbian, right? I get that, but I feel like the labels should only go so far. They shouldn't become restrictive. You shouldn't ever be like, well, I can't fancy this person because I am this label. Like, my whole impression of like the LGBTQ plus community is that it should very much be like, love who you want to love. Things like gender and all that sort of stuff shouldn't be the primary concern, really.
No, you're right.
So it feels weird.
Unfortunately, there are so that is an annoying thing that Ali does.
Yeah, she gets over it.
She does, and ends up dating Violet, which is good.
Yeah,
but like I think that's a side of the LGBT plus community that people who aren't in it maybe don't see as much.
Probably, yeah.
Which is the sort of divisions in it, and like there are people on all sides probably, who are not good representations of what you would assume an LGBT plus person is. Like, there are lesbian TERFs, and there are gay guys who won't date a trans man.
Yeah,
and you know that shit happens in the community just like it does on the outside.
Yeah.
So I think it's good that the web series is like, hey, like everyone can be as shit as everyone else, sort of thing.
I get that. You're
You're annoyed because your favourite character did it.
it didn't feel right. It coming from that character, it felt like the conversation that was happening in that scene should have been reversed with those two characters, because throughout the show, Ali is positioned as the more understanding, the more open-minded. So for her to have this,
but she's also not had to deal with it before.
No, yeah, I get that. It seemed weird.
So I think that's maybe a more true representation than if it was flipped.
Possibly.
Because she is an open-minded person who is accepting of trans people, but she's never dealt with a trans person before. So like she is trying to figure out what it means.
Yeah,
I think it's a good thing to figure that shit out.
It is. I guess.
It's only good if you come to the right answer at the end of it.
Yeah, I guess like for me as well, where I kind of like struggle is I'm very much of the mindset, right? If someone identifies as a lesbian, that would just to me be like their preference is women, okay? But I wouldn't kind of say that then boxes them in to the fact that they can only ever date women. Like if someone is like, I'm 99.9% of the time attracted to women, but like there is one dude out there who I find attractive, I'm not going to be like, well then you're bisexual. To me, that could still be a lesbian person. There's just this like one exception. I don't think it should necessarily mean they have to be like relabeled or re-identified or whatever.
No, I think all that shit's stupid. Yeah. The same with the whole gold star lesbian thing, which they reference in that scene.
What is that?
So the idea of a gold star lesbian is someone that has never had sex with a penis.
Okay.
So there's this whole like, I'm a gold star lesbian because I've never even touched a dick, and you're like, yeah, okay, cool, but there are other people who, you know, didn't know they were lesbians, and why the fuck are you trying to exclude them from your elitist club?
Yeah, some people, you know, it's not like the sort of thing that you're given a handbook to, and you can just read it and be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You have to figure it out yourself.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, I'm of the mindset that everyone should just fuck whoever the fuck they want, and don't worry about the whole...
as long as it's legal and
Yes, I mean consenting, obviously. Liam, I didn't mean just go around being like, I want to fuck you.
So I just, you know, had to make it clear. We don't know who's listening.
Jesus. Yeah, that's my mindset. I'm just like, if someone's attractive, they're attractive.
Yeah, it shouldn't really matter. If you both find each other attractive, fuck labels.
Exactly.
But yeah, I guess the reason why I struggled is just it was weird to me. It's probably not a conversation I'm really seen a lot in anything before, of someone almost like boxing themselves in due to the label that they've given themselves. It felt really weird.
But I think that is a thing people do. So I think it's good that they showed it.
Yeah.
Because that, like, I think that is a thing that everyone does. You know, even if it's just when you're a teenager.
Yeah.
Where you find your, like, click.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, right, so I should do this because that's what my people do.
Yeah.
And so I get it. I get why she thinks that. And she also, like, her friend, what her friend says to her is the correct response, which is a lesbian means a woman that likes another woman.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. But I think, so like, I would identify as straight, right? But like, if Zac Efron knocks on my door and is like, can I have a nosh on your cock? I'm not suddenly gay or bisexual.
Oh, as if he would want to nosh your penis.
Hey.
He would knock on the door and you would fall to your knees. Arse cheeks spread.
Yeah.
You know you would.
Yeah. But I'm still saying, like, I would still identify as straight after that.
What if he wanted to marry you?
I'd be fine with that.
Would you then... Interesting. Would you then call yourself straight if you were married to Zac Efron?
Yeah.
What if Zac Efron was like...
Because the thing is, right...
I want to marry you,
He's the outlier. So my preference is still women, but he slipped through the net.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I think, like... That's the thing, is it's sexual preference.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's like the one dude out of, like, what, 3 billion. So, you know, we've discussed my guilt-free 3 list and how lengthy it is.
Yeah, more than 3.
Yeah. So I don't think the one dude, like, negates that preference.
No, that's true.
But that's just my opinion on it. So someone listening to this might be like, nah, bro, you totally gay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back to the show.
Now that we've dissected that.
I thought the lesbian that was a TERF was... that's Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa.
Definitely important her character was there.
Yep.
Just borderline cartoonish in her, like delivery almost.
Yeah, but you don't see these people.
No, I don't. And like I'm just coming at this from like what to me would make this not even like an accurate representation, just interesting. And a lot of it, I think, because it's so characterized,
yeah,
I almost would find it more believable in a way. Like you said, these were in probably more extreme versions exist, but I would find it more interesting if they were downplayed a little bit. So it's like, oh, it could be like a point of view that's more insidious. Does that make sense? Because she's just shouting these opinions like very loudly, but I almost feel like it would be a more dangerous character almost if the way she expressed these opinions was less exaggerated.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what the show...
No, I don't think the show's going for that level.
Because I think that's one of the good things about this show, is it's a way for people who aren't transgender to see part of that, like, the struggle of it.
Yeah.
And, like, if it was all more subtle and, like...
I would have...
I don't think... Because I think it's important that people know there are people out there who will shout that.
I would have liked Lisa to have had more of a comeuppance. I feel like she gets off quite lightly.
She does, but also, like, I don't know, the way she
should have got a slap.
No, but I disagree entirely.
Not necessarily from Paige, just one of her lesbian friends should have been like, "You're a fucking idiot," and slapped her.
But even then, if the violence is coming, like, that's, in my opinion, and this is not an opinion that all transgender people share, and I'm aware of that. In my opinion, if you get violent at these people, or if there is violence directed at these people, you're just fueling their argument.
Okay.
Because part of their argument is that
a
trans woman is just an angry man who's going to, at the drop of a hat, in a bathroom, just be like, whoa!
Get punchy. Yeah. Alright. Yeah. A bird should have shot on her head.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll accept that.
Yeah. I just wanted more of a comeuppance, you know?
Yeah, I get that, yeah. Because she is a dick.
Yeah, and there's one, like, heated conversation, but I don't necessarily feel like from that conversation, Lisa has really been like, I'm going to listen to you. She's still a twat.
I don't think these people will.
No, exactly. So get a bird to shit on them.
I think the way Paige deals with her is great.
Yeah, that's probably like a very, very carefully written scene.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, just a flock of birds should have shot on her simultaneously.
I agree.
Okay, so the relationship between Paige and James.
Yes.
Would you like to just set that up for our listeners?
So Paige is this like attorney who's working for a company that defends, I think she says it's minority rights, but the case we see her dealing with is like a transgender person, right?
Yeah.
James, how does she actually meet James? What's the...
They're at the cafe. She's talking to Ali, I think, and Ali clocks James behind her, who's like, can't take his eyes off her, basically.
Oh, that's right. Oh, no, it's Violet. It's Violet.
Oh, was it Violet? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh, that guy's looking at you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So Paige meets this James guy, and she's just... In the first few episodes, you see her having sex with a guy and being like, do you want to meet up later? And him just being like, no, I'm busy. No, I'm good. And like just walking out. And I think she says to Violet, like, when I disclose to people,
yeah,
that's all they want is just this one night.
Sometimes not even that, I think she says.
Yeah. So she meets James and gets talking to him, and they're getting along very well. And they don't like start dating, but I think they agree to go on a date.
Yeah.
And then on that date, she has a moment where she's going to tell him that she's transgender.
Yeah. And
decides not to because she's worried that will happen, that he'll just walk out, or worse. But so you sort of follow their relationship as he's just this lovely, sweet guy, does the very smooth move at the end of the first date where
that was like, that made me want to vomit a little bit in my mouth.
Oh god, I swooned for him.
Really?
It's a badass move.
Oh, I almost.
She says,
I would have almost been offended.
"What are we going to do now?
Yeah.
You could come back to mine for coffee."
Yeah.
And he says, "I could do, but I've just ordered you an Uber because I want to see you again." And I was like, "Nice one, James."
No. If I was on a date with someone,
you're not classy though, Liam.
Yeah.
You'd whip your dick out and be like, "Do you like boats?"
If I was on a date with someone and they're like, "I've just called you a cab to go," I'd be like, "What the fuck did I say wrong?"
Yeah, well, yes, if they did it to you.
Yeah, because there's a good chance I had to said something wrong.
Yeah.
No, I didn't like that move. It worked.
All right, well.
In the context of the show, it worked, but it would have pissed me off if it was me.
I thought it was very smooth. Yeah. So. agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But yeah, their relationship is interesting because you have all this going on where sort of Paige is trying to deal with whether she tells him and when to tell him.
Yes.
She then there's Ali finds out that Violet tells Ali that Paige is transgender, just in an offhand sort of. She's making a point that Ali probably knows more transgender people than she thinks.
Yeah. Now, is that problematic or not?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because it feels like the show doesn't really address
I think Violet makes the mistake there.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
By telling Ali without talking to Paige.
Yeah.
But Ali, because she's new to this whole thing, I can't remember. Oh, because Lisa's being a dick.
Yeah,
and then starts saying like, oh, you know, whatever, fuck all this, and then talks about how Paige is quite attractive.
Yeah.
So Ali is just like, shut the fuck up. Oh, she's having a go at Paige. Lisa is having a go at Paige and saying, why are you defending these men who go to women's shelters?
Yeah.
And Paige is like, no, they're women. They should be going to those women's shelters. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then when Paige walks off, Lisa's talking about how hot Paige is, and Ali just goes like, she's trans, you idiot.
Yeah.
And storms off. Lisa then does an article or releases something, a story.
Yeah.
Basically outing Paige.
Yeah.
Saying like, it turns out Paige is a transgender person. That's why she's defending this person in this case. Blah de blah. So that's when Lisa gets her comeuppance, where Paige just basically puts her in her place.
Yeah.
Then has to go and talk to James.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously going to have seen the story.
Yeah.
And you get an interesting scene where James is annoyed because Paige hasn't told him.
Yeah.
She basically says like, I don't like, when was I meant to tell you?
Yeah. And I think he even says you were going to on the first date, weren't you?
Yeah. He says you were going to say something.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I was. And then I think she like goes to walk off or something.
Yeah.
And he says, I have a gambling addiction.
Yeah. And
I'm just trying to figure out when the right time to tell you would have been.
Yeah. Which when I first saw that, I was like,
yes,
I don't think those two are comparable. But then I actually thought about it. Like, that was my initial gut reaction. And then I was like, I get the point they're making, because I've got this like weird conflict going on internally, right? Where it's like, I know the way it should be, but then there's also the way that, like, if I was to put myself in that situation, how confused and how I would be feeling.
Yeah, because here's the thing, Liam. Like, in an ideal world, right?
Yeah.
In the most ideal world,
yeah,
it would just be a thing where it wouldn't even. I mean, in the most ideal world, you wouldn't even have to disclose it.
Yeah.
It would just be a world where everyone accepted everyone, and it was like, I like this girl. You go and have sex.
Job done.
And the fact that she's got a dick doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Or that she's trans and doesn't have a penis.
Yeah.
And it would just be like that.
Yeah.
We're not in that world.
No.
So in the world we are in, a guy expects to be told that.
Yeah.
Because in his head he's like, well, I should know because I don't want to have sex with a penis, right? Is the like default logic there.
I think that's a viewpoint of it, definitely.
That's a viewpoint. There are definitely people that don't mind, yeah.
Well, I think, because one of the things that I wanted the show to do, but it didn't, was for them to touch on the, like, it's minor, this is probably going to sound worse than it actually is displayed in the show, but, like, there is a degree of almost, deception's probably the wrong word, but there's a scene, there's a scene where she's discussing her past, and she's about to say something, but she's sort of, like, rephrases, right? Yeah. She's about to say, essentially she's about to say, like, oh, when I was a boy growing up, for example. But
here's the thing, Liam, like, again, we don't live it's not a deception because we do not live in an ideal world. I don't think it's fair I don't even think it's we live in a world where there is, in America, there is a law called the trans panic defense.
Okay.
Which is the idea that if a man and a woman are going to have sex, and the man finds out that the woman is transgender, and kills her, in reaction to that, he can claim trans panic, and it lowers his sentence by a shit ton. Because the idea being that, hey, of course, it was a transgender person. Who wouldn't react with horrible violence and murder them?
That's ridiculous.
So we live in that world. So when people are like, oh, talk about old trans people deceiving them and stuff, my reaction is yes, because cis people kill us. The negative.
That's crazy.
The negative for a guy is I was going to have sex with a girl and I found out she had a penis.
Yeah.
And, like, if that makes you feel weird, check your own sexuality. Because, like, just be like, oh, I don't want to have sex with a penis. That's fine.
Yeah. But I guess...
You don't have to be attracted to a penis. That's cool. You don't have to. You can just go, this isn't for me, and leave.
Yeah, but I think...
But...
even if they've had, like, the surgery, right, so they no longer have the penis, that where the element of deception comes in, again, that feels like too strong of a word.
Stop saying deception,
Yeah.
because it isn't deception.
Yeah, but it's just... It is that, like what the show demonstrates, is, like, when someone's talking about their past, but they're having to just, like, tweak it a little bit, it's like a small lie to some degree, but like here's the thing.
I again would disagree with that because my argument is, as someone who is trans, I have always been a girl, but I didn't realise because something genetically was wrong with me, and my body got the wrong fucking message and grew into a boy's body, right?
Yeah.
That would be my logic. I've always had the same brain. I've always been a girl, I just didn't fucking know it.
Yeah.
So when I talk about the past and I say when I was a little boy,
yeah,
I'm not lying if I change that to when I was a little girl.
Yeah.
Because I have always been a girl. So I don't think there is a deception there. Because for there to be a deception, you have to be saying that a trans person was their assigned gender and have changed it, which I don't think is the right way. I don't think that's what it is. And I know people will disagree with that.
Yeah.
But they're wrong.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, like, that would be my argument to the whole idea of there being deception.
Yeah, I think the only, like...
The only real argument I can see for it is I wanted to have kids.
That's what I was going to say.
And to be honest with you, unless you are going and getting your fertility checked and you come to me and say, hey, by the way, we're about to have sex. If you wanted kids, I have had a check, and it turns out I'm not very fertile. If you're not doing that, you don't have the right to ask me to disclose that I'm trans.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, I think.
Because that's the only logical argument I can see that I actually agree with is fertility, because that does affect a relationship in terms of
planning,
especially the we're starting to get to.
Yeah, if you're like this is starting to get serious, I want to start thinking about the future and having a family and all that sort of thing.
Exactly.
But then I guess, yeah. So I'm just trying to kind of get my head around it, right? If
no, I totally get it, and I'm aware that this
for like a guy in that position, right? Is there an element of almost like, and this could happen even if they're dating like a girl who is infertile or whatever? Is there an element of like, oh, well, I've kind of almost wasted my time?
There might be, but
it's hard for me to put myself in that mindset as someone who does not want children.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think people are doing it for the infertility thing. I don't think that is the actual reason people don't want to have sex with trans
women. I think if that was the case, it'd be like such a minor.
Yeah.
Like one person maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I think the real thing is internalized homophobia and the idea that a trans woman is really a man pretending. I think that's why people don't want to have sex with a trans woman.
Okay.
And that's not like, I get it, because everyone has internalized things.
Yeah.
Like, internalized transphobia is something that trans people deal with all the time. Their own issues with what being trans is.
Yeah. I guess like the other thing, like if you're, let's say you're on a date, right, with a trans woman and you're not aware they're trans, is there not also like an element of when it's time to, say the date's going well and it's time to have sex, you're like, well, that's not what I was expecting. Like, I was expecting...
Yeah, and I think most people would disclose before then.
Yeah. It's just suddenly it's like, oh, by the way, surprise.
Yeah.
Because I guess like if you're like, well, I'm expecting, a vagina to put my penis in. I don't know. I don't know what the sort of...
No, I get what you're saying, because it is... Yeah, it's a tricky one, is the thing. But I don't think it's fair that society tries to put the blame on trans people, because...
I get that.
If cis people stopped murdering trans women and trans men, then it would be a lot easier for us to just go, hey, I have a penis.
Yeah, and that's kind of should be where we're at, right?
Yeah, and we are not.
Yeah, that right. I can get behind that, because that to me is ludicrous that we're not there.
Because that's the real reason people don't want to disclose, is because they are and even if it's not murder, like I realize murder is an extreme example.
Yeah.
There are numerous situations. Like Jen Richards, the trans actor who played Violet, she said like she has so many trans friends that have been in dangerous situations where someone has discovered that they are trans and the whole thing has just shifted immediately to like, oh shit, this is going very, very badly south.
Yeah.
Like, so it's a thing that trans women have to deal with.
Yeah, I guess because
trans people, just everyone.
Where I struggle as well is the like I'm very much if I wouldn't say if I was on a date with someone, I wouldn't be like, so you're a woman, right?
Exactly.
So I totally get that it would be unfair to treat like a trans person in that way.
Yeah.
So like I 100% get the like almost hypocrisy of it. But yeah, I kind of agree that it's ridiculous that we're not at a stage where if you are a trans person, you can't just be like, by the way, without any fear of repercussion.
Yeah. And I mean, even then it goes into a deeper argument of like, even then, should they have to disclose?
Yeah.
Which I would, I have arguments against, but the show doesn't delve that deep into it, so we probably shouldn't either. Because I could literally sit here for hours just arguing trans points.
Yeah, and again, this is what I was kind of saying at the beginning of the culture swap. Like you're coming to this from a vastly different place to me because you've got a lot more like experience. You've done a lot more research, reading into all this sort of stuff.
I interact with people that are going through this shit.
Yeah, whereas I'm just ignorant white male privilege.
Yeah, classic cis male.
Yeah.
Heteronormative. Look at you and your relationship is not heteronormative.
What's that mean?
Like, stereotypically heterosexual.
Yeah, it is. What is it then?
Catherine!
Yeah?
Catherine, I'm wet from the shower.
That happens.
That's not traditionally manly.
No, that's true. Is there anything else like thematically about the show? Yes, there is. The Mark character.
Yeah, oh god, we haven't even spoken about that yet.
No, we need to get into that because...
Yeah, it's a pretty major thing.
It's a major thing, but also it's just like... I almost needed more time spent on it in the show.
Again, I think it's in there to show that issue.
Yeah. No, it is, but I guess... Okay, so playing devil's advocate here, right? You don't want a show to just like do lip service to an issue if it's not going to actually dig into the issue, right?
But they weren't trying. Like I've read a lot of interviews with Jen Richards specifically about how she wrote this show.
Yeah,
and she didn't want to do that either. Like she was, because she said there's a lot of like people who afterwards were like, well, there's no like representation of trans men in this show.
Yeah,
or gender non-conforming or non-binary. Like there's a huge part of the trans community that isn't represented in her story.
Yes.
And she was like, and I know that, and it's because I knew if I put that in, because I was like, well, I've got to represent everyone.
Yeah. Well, you don't have the trans man perspective, do you?
No.
What?
But she's also saying it would just be like, at that point, it is just tokenism.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's like what, like half of the community or so.
Yeah. Yeah. We're a pretty even split.
Yeah.
It's disproportionate on different websites. Apparently, Reddit is very predominantly trans women. I think Tumblr is predominantly trans men, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So we're sort of split on where we are on the internet. But it's, as far as I'm aware, it's pretty 50-50.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, so I get it. Like, basically, Violet is, at the same time that she's getting closer to Ali, she is in a relationship of sorts with this guy, Mark, who she lives at his apartment.
Yeah.
And you see early on that there is something dodgy going on.
Yes.
Because he, like... I can't remember what he does. What the first thing he does? Isn't he like... She gets back from somewhere and he's like, where have you been?
The first thing that I think, for me, was red flag is she gets back from her first meeting with Ali and she's like, oh yeah, I met with this journalist who wanted to talk to me about being trans. Yeah. And he was like, you're not doing it, are you?
Yeah, and then throws away Ali's phone number.
Yes. So that was the first, like, for me, like, red flag.
Yeah. So basically, you're getting these red flags. Then eventually, Ali goes round to watch a movie.
Or was it was it like meant to be Game of Thrones they were watching?
Oh, possibly, yeah.
Because it felt like they mentioned Game of Thrones earlier, and then they obviously can't use the intro music, but it does sound like a Game of Thrones-esque like rip-off music.
So it definitely could be.
Yeah, and you see like a shot of the TV through a glass, and I was watching it being like, is that Game of Thrones that they're trying to sort of like get away with there?
Yeah, but yeah, so they're watching
Something.
this Game of Thrones-esque show.
Yeah,
and Mark comes home unexpectedly.
Yeah, and is a dickhead.
And Violet's like, oh god, you've got to leave, Ellie. It's nothing major. And Mark's like, who is this? Then sort of does this weird, not forced kiss, but like it is a forced kiss, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't physically grab her and make her kiss him, but it's
very
much.
He's doing it to establish dominance.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yes. And then there's the bit where like she's almost going to go and see her out of the door, and he sort of holds her back almost.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, Ali starts to get suspicious that she's in an abusive relationship, is talking to some of her friends who are, like... I think at that point, Lisa is actually, like, helpful.
Is she?
Because, yeah, doesn't she have a conversation with her where she's, like, saying about what happened, and Lisa's like, yeah, she's in an abusive relationship.
Yeah, possibly.
And, like, I've seen this before.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think they tried to maybe give Lisa an almost, like... Not redeeming thing, but like she's not just a dickhead.
Yeah, different sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, so there's some more stuff happens. You meet a British singer.
Oh, just the worst accent.
It's a poor accent.
Poor is generous.
It's very over the top.
Yeah.
And not very good.
No.
But, so Ali and Violet are like very... I think they make out a little bit.
I think so, yeah.
And then she gets a call from Mark and is like, I have to go. And he beats her up, or he punched her in the face because she tells him she doesn't love him.
Yeah, and she says he's never hit me in the face before.
Yeah. But the whole thing is that she's in this like relationship with Mark because she can't afford to live by herself with her waitressing job.
Yeah.
And she used to be a prostitute, or at least a sex worker of some kind. Mark was a client that always came back to her and offered her this deal where it was like, if you come and live with me, I'll look after you, basically.
Yeah.
So she's been in this weird abusive relationship for a while, and then basically splits up with him because she's falling in love with Ali.
Yeah.
And never loved Mark anyway.
Yeah.
It's an important scene because that whole sex work thing, like I said earlier, that is a thing that happens.
Yeah.
And there's also, we call them chasers, which is a guy that is specifically wanting to date trans women because of the genitals they have.
Right.
And they're not good people.
No. Like, that's something that I'm not particularly familiar with or aware of.
No. It's basically the idea that at that point they are just fetishizing you.
Yeah, okay.
Like, there is nothing good about a chaser.
So is it someone that is what? They're willing to pay to a point with the surgery, but if a trans person was like, okay, the next step of the surgery that I want to get is like genital reassignment, would chasers potentially be like, no?
Yeah, 100%.
Cool.
If a proper chaser
yeah.
would at that point be like, no, I don't want you to get that done, because that's what they're attracted to, that part of the transgender life.
Yeah.
Which is so weird because a lot of transgender people are not happy with their genitals.
Yeah, exactly.
So the whole dichotomy doesn't really work.
Yeah. I guess it's almost like, right, it's very predatory in nature then, because I imagine they're fully aware that these people aren't happy about it, so they can almost use that to kind of manipulate.
I mean, like...
Because it's like picking on someone.
I never thought these words would come out of my mouth, but to be fair to the chasers...
Right.
They might not know what a transgender person feels, because they're just looking for sex with a trans woman, and like...
But they could also use that to their advantage, right?
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. They're a whole tricky thing, the chasers. They're bad people, but, you know, I don't know how much is them knowing they're bad, and if you actually sat down and explained to some of them, they probably would be like, oh god, I didn't realise what I was doing.
You'd hope. This is where I think you have that optimistic attitude about the world, and I don't.
Well, there are probably some, is what I said.
Yeah. I think, so where this storyline for me I struggle with is I can buy... Hang on. I can buy Violet getting to LA in this method, but the way that her character is presented is, you know, she's a strong character. She's very like to me, it feels like she's very independent. She's very like kind of comfortable with who she is, and it just seems weird to me that like the character that we're shown in the first 5 episodes before this all becomes this big deal would willingly keep herself in that environment.
Yeah. So I've been thinking about this, Liam.
Okay.
And I think Violet herself explains part of it.
Right.
When she's talking to Ali, and Ali, I think it's early on in their interviews, where Ali's like, "Are you attracted to men?"
Yeah.
And Violet says, "It's not so much that I'm attracted to men, but when I'm with a man, I feel feminine."
Yeah.
Because she says when she's with someone like Ali, she can look and be like, "My hands are bigger than yours. Here's all the things that are wrong with me."
Yes.
And with a man, that's not obvious.
Yeah.
So I think part of it is the idea that early on in Violet's transition, she probably fell into this sex work.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. I think as well, it's probably more true to life of real abuse, maybe.
Okay.
Where, like, I think we have, as a society, as a society, a view of, like, an abusive relationship being this big, muscly guy who's a dickhead and is just, like, beating his wife, and his wife's just this meek woman.
Yeah.
And I think in reality, domestic abuse probably isn't as much like that. And I think it's probably harmful that society makes us think the other way. Because I think, because there are guys who get abused in relationships, and there are probably women who look completely fine on the outside, and like these strong, independent women who do go home and get abused.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know if that's what her story was trying to do, or whether it was just, maybe a weaker bit of writing for that specific thing.
Right.
But that's how I'm choosing to read it.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Because that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And especially with the whole, like, trans thing and, trying to feel feminine. That bit I can completely understand.
Yeah, I get it. I think it's another one of those examples where it's like, you're probably, because you're more sort of tuned into this community, you can pick up or like fill in the blanks easier than I can.
Yeah.
So for someone like me, I would almost, I'd need like an additional scene that's just like hand holding me through it.
You need like an episode 0.
Yeah.
Where they just do a presentation.
Yeah, that'd be good. I did think, like, because it is quite short, and I know they cut a couple of scenes, but I did feel like there was, like, I wouldn't have minded if it was a little bit longer and it gave them more time to delve into certain aspects. Yeah. Particularly the Paige and James relationship.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely, like, a fair amount of stuff that was cut. Like, I was reading that Jen Richards was saying one of her favourite scenes that got cut was Paige delving more into disclosure. Like, I know you get that scene at the end about it.
Yeah. And
they talk a little bit about it, where Paige is talking about, like, oh, when I disclose to people, they just want to fuck me, or not even that.
Yeah.
That scene was originally, like, a lot longer, and Paige does this speech about it, which is really good. Yeah. Like, the speech itself, I read it and was like, oh, wow, she, like, properly delves into the issues with it.
Yeah.
But that got cut because whilst it does help with figuring that stuff out, it also, story-wise, made Paige already be on the defensive with James or something, and it was, like, it sort of messed with the relationship they had through the rest of the show.
Okay.
Because Paige almost wasn't dealing with, like, whereas the rest of the show she's trying to figure it out, it's almost made it like, well, Paige knows.
Yeah.
So, like, that's one example of something that got cut, and I know a lot of stuff did get cut.
Yeah. Well, I noticed in the credits, right, someone was credited as some like speed data announcer, and I was like, "There's no speed dating scene." Yeah. So that was another bit that was cut.
Yeah. And I think that is, I know that they would, or they've been trying to get a season 2.
Yeah, but it did come out 2015.
Yeah.
So
no one's picked it up.
Yeah, or 2016.
But it would have been 30-minute episodes and 10 episodes long, I think.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I would love it to be picked up, because I would love to watch more of this, because I love it. I think it's really important and good.
Yeah. Are there like other shows like this that you're aware of?
I've heard really good things about Pose.
Okay.
Which is about trans women in the 70s or 80s?
Yeah.
Maybe earlier?
Yeah.
Which is about some dance club, which I've heard good things about.
Yeah.
Which has trans actors playing trans roles.
Not Scarlett Johansson.
Not Scarlett Johansson.
It's a shame.
That's like the big one at the moment.
Yeah.
I think there probably is more.
Okay.
I mean, there's the films, obviously, like Tangerine, and
I've seen that.
I need to see it, and the other one that you've also seen.
No, no, I haven't.
Oh, have you
I've
not?
recommended it to you. I think it's called like A Serious Woman or something. No.
Yeah,
Is that
one.
it?
Something like that.
I don't think that is it now. No. What is it? It's not Serious Woman. I'm getting it confused with a film called A Serious Man.
Oh. A Marvelous Woman or something?
It's not that.
A Fantastic Woman.
That's it. Yeah. Which I've heard nothing
Yeah.
but good things about that.
Yeah, same.
I think it's Spanish speaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's stuff. There's just not a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'd be curious for you to watch Tangerine, because I only watched it because Duplass produced it.
Okay.
So like, it's tangentially connected to Mumblecore.
Right.
And so I don't know if you remember, Dan went to see this film, and we were discussing it. A film called The Florida Project.
Yeah.
Same director.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, watch it around Christmas time.
Why?
It's Christmas
Is
film.
it Christmassy?
It's set on Christmas Eve,
Oh, okay.
but in LA, so it does not look like Christmas.
I'll watch it now then.
It was also well known because I think it was all filmed on an iPhone.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, it got a bit of news coverage because of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have heard that.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say about her story, Liam?
Just kind of, I don't know if I said it already, but I did find the acting was a little bit like all over the place.
Yeah, I think that's one of the issues you're going to get from web series.
Yeah, that's kind of what I chalked it up to. Like some were good. I thought Angelica Ross was really good.
Yeah.
Jen Richards, a little bit like she got better as the show went on, but the first couple episodes I was not like sold on her performance.
I mean, I'm biased because I love Jen Richards. She's like an amazing author, and I love her.
Okay, I thought Laura Zach was fine. And those are the only ones that really like, you know, are given material to really play with. I didn't think the guy that played James was particularly impressive.
Fair enough.
We had some correspondence, but should we do our rating of it first or the correspondence first?
How do we usually do it?
I think we normally do the correspondence last.
Okay. I give it, Liam, a 4.5 out of 5.
For what reasons?
I think it's a really good look at the trans experience, and I think it's a good way for other people to see some of the issues that they might not originally see.
Yeah.
I think it's really good that it does representation right and shows that you can do a show about trans people, written by trans people, starring trans people, instead of what Hollywood is currently trying to do, where they get a bunch of white dudes to sit down and go, let's make a transgender film. Who should we get to star in it? This normal, straight dude to play a woman.
Yeah, but that's a bit
Hollywood.
of that's a real hot topic at the moment because I think, is it Disney are getting criticised. Basically, a film company very recently, like in the last couple of days, announced Jack Whitehall as playing an openly gay character.
So I've heard about this.
Yeah.
So the reason I don't think it's the same,
okay,
is with that I get the issues people have with it, but that is still a guy playing a guy. The sexuality is different.
Yeah,
that's the issue with trans people in films. They're not getting our sexuality wrong. Yeah. They are getting people of the wrong gender to play us.
See, I think, like, I get what you're saying. I think the issue is trans people just aren't getting roles whatsoever. Like,
yeah,
I don't think it would be a big issue, right? If, let's say, if Scarlett Johansson got a role playing a trans person, I don't think that'd be a big issue. If a trans person was getting the sort of roles that Scarlett Johansson is getting.
No, but so here's the issue, Liam. Here's what I think it boils down to, right?
Yeah.
The stereotype that negative people have about trans people is that we are assigned gender.
Yeah.
So I would be a guy pretending to be a woman. That's the stereotype. That's the bit that hurts, right?
Yeah.
So when they get a guy to play a trans woman, they're not. That is the only thing people can then see on that screen is a guy dressed up as a woman
Yeah.
playing a trans woman. So that just enforces that stereotype. There is no situation where that is good, in my opinion.
But what I'm saying...
So even if I don't think Scarlett Johansson playing a trans man is ever a good idea.
But what I'm
there
saying...
also is the issue of trans people not getting jobs.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is I think if trans people were getting the sort of roles that Scarlett Johansson was getting, that would indicate a level of acceptance that we seem to be way off of, right? Which is why I think
but
it
even then, it's
be...
just when she then gets the job of playing a trans man, she is just reinforcing the stereotype that it is a woman pretending to be a guy.
Yeah, but I guess in my
that's
mind,
never okay.
If trans people were getting sort of like, you know, playing like Black Widow or playing like the lead in Ghost in the Shell or whatever, to me that would almost indicate, right, the fact that they're trans doesn't matter, which is how it should be.
Yeah, but that's like saying a white actor playing a black person shouldn't matter. Which it obviously does.
Yeah, that's true.
The only time that's ever worked is in Tropic Thunder, where it was done deliberately because it was like, look how horrifying this is.
Yeah.
So that is the equivalent, is getting a white person to play a black person, which is not okay.
Anymore. Used to be all of age.
Okay.
Used to be all of age.
It was not okay, though.
No. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I do think that is a big problem, though, is just not getting any sort of role.
Yeah, and I think Hollywood likes to jump on the bandwagon. They're seeing that trans issues are becoming more noticeable in society, so they're like, let's make a film about trans people.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, then don't go and consult with trans people.
No.
And I'm like, well, you're probably missing out on some of the stuff.
But it's like, I don't know if we've discussed it on the podcast before, but I know we have, at least off of it, where to me it feels like there's steps that need to be taken. Like, I imagine the first ever like gay character in a film probably wasn't played by an actually gay guy. Very much like the first black person in the film probably wasn't played by a black guy. It was a white person in blackface, right? Which now obviously we look back horrified at, but it feels to me like there's certain steps that almost are traditionally taken before we get to this level of acceptance.
Yeah, but then I would say, well, then look at that. Look at how we all now know that shit was wrong.
Well, yeah.
And how can anyone be sitting there going, like, we shouldn't go through these traditional steps. To be honest, Liam, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck tradition. Fuck Hollywood. I'm not going to sit back and be like, nah, yeah, well, at least they're throwing us a bone by talking about us on their screen. Fuck that.
But is it better to have the film made or not have the film made?
Not have the film made.
But then the story doesn't get told, or doesn't get in front of as many people as it maybe would have.
Yeah, part of my issue is that I don't think Hollywood are trying to tell the right stories.
Okay.
It's just token representation. We are just being wheeled out because society is finally being like, oh shit, maybe we shouldn't be fucking these trans people around so much.
Have you seen Dallas Buyers Club?
No, I don't particularly want to.
Okay, I would just be curious of how you think they handle it.
I probably will watch some of these films at some point so that I can be like, fuck this.
Well, yeah. But I guess like, if you're going into it already with that attitude, then it's only going to reinforce it, isn't it?
Yeah. That is one of the ones that I'm not going to change my attitude on, though, because I'm in the right.
Are there any that, like, what about, what's the one with Eddie Redmayne in it?
The one about the
Danish girl?
Danish girl,
yeah,
that's it.
What about that one?
I've been told to watch it by friends, because apparently it's a very good film.
Okay.
But it is a man playing a trans woman, which I do not agree with, so probably not. Okay.
So what's the solution?
If you're making a story about trans people, hire a trans person.
Okay.
If the story's not about a transgender person, hire a cis person. That's fine. But you can also hire trans people. It doesn't matter.
But it's like we've discussed in the past, right? There is probably, I can think of maybe one trans actor.
Laverne Cox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day...
But that's because we're not getting the roles.
Yeah. But so it's a vicious cycle, right? Because they're not getting the roles, so they're not getting the exposure, so they're not getting their name to the degree where they're going to be able to generate as much revenue as, an established actor.
Yeah, so hire trans people for other roles. Like, this is the thing.
Yeah.
There aren't films where... Because I could see, like, some... Like, a TERF or whatever, or someone who's anti-trans, being like, well then, why do we have to hire them for cis roles? And my argument to that would be, there aren't films where being cis is the point. Yeah. There are films where being trans is the point.
Yeah.
So, for the roles where being cis isn't the point, hire trans people for some of them. Not for the big roles, that's fine.
Yeah.
Laverne Cox played one of the inmates on Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
And her being trans was important in that, but just hire us as extras and then, like, other people in the films. And then when you want to make a trans film, you can be like, hey, that person that we got big by putting them in other films.
Yeah.
Perfect for this.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the issue. At the moment, there are no trans actors that can generate the type of money that, you know, certain other actors can.
Yeah.
And until they start getting, you know, opportunities, they're never going to. But we can't just, you know, immediately say, right, well, this movie about a trans person is going to have a trans leading it, because suddenly the budget for that movie is just going to shrink and then maybe not get made.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's part of the problem with Hollywood, which is a whole other thing.
What, the fact that it's just a business and they're just out to make as much money as possible?
Yes.
Yeah. But then that's why we have to look into like independent cinema and usually international cinema as well to get those sort of stories. Because I imagine like the first, like, you know, like gay story wouldn't have been a big... Like, I mean, we've only just had like the first like Hollywood film. I think what was it? Is it a gay main character? Like Love, Simon was...
Yeah.
Kind of, there was something about it where it's just like, how is that the first one?
Yeah.
But there's been plenty in, you know, supporting characters or independent cinema. Yeah. It's going to be a long process, I think, though, to get Hollywood there.
It will. It shouldn't be, but it will be.
Yeah.
What do you give Her Story, Liam?
I would give it a 2.5 out of 5.
Fair enough.
Like, I liked it. I think it was a much better choice than what you were initially going to suggest for your birthday episode.
You haven't seen what I've suggested.
Yeah, but just 8 hours of it would have...
you don't know.
The fact that it was 8 hours long would have just done my nut in.
Coward.
This was nice, breezy, 54 minutes. Apart from, like I said, that scene with Ali, that I just, like, I watched it and my initial was just like, fucking hate that scene. Like, everything else I thought was fine. Like there's nothing, like, hugely bad about it. What I did like is, like I said, it's written by a trans woman. Like, it's got a lot of like trans people on the crew.
Yeah.
And you got like trans actors in it. I liked that it wasn't about being trans necessarily. Like it's about the experience of a trans person, but it is not about the actual process of being transgender.
Yeah. Yes.
So I liked that. But yeah, 2.5 out of 5.
Fair enough. What was the listener correspondence?
Kat Fyson sent us an email.
That's a surprise.
Saying my thoughts on Her Story. She said, "It's obviously good that trans stories are being told, but I felt like Her Story lacked depth of characterisation, and so it was difficult to emphasise with certain characters, particularly Jen. Because of the short episode format, I feel like so much gets omitted that I'd have been interested in knowing more about, e.g. character backstory and motivations for some characters, thoughts and actions." So these are all points that we have discussed.
Yeah.
I would have liked to know more about Paige, and I feel like the relationship she has with James ends up ultimately being really anticlimactic at the end. He also compares keeping a gambling addiction secret to her not being immediately forthcoming about being trans. It seems like an odd comparison to make.
Went over that.
Something else we discussed. Final thoughts. I liked Ali and Paige the most, and also what the fuck was Bad Penny's accent.
Yeah.
So
Bad Penny's accent is not good.
That's the first time I've read that email, and I'm pleased that we did basically touch on all of those points.
We did, yeah.
So that means we must have had a very thorough discussion.
Let me know, Kat, if I explain those points well enough, because I never know.
She doesn't listen.
Liam, make Kat listen.
I mean, I can try, but she doesn't listen. I think her point is she listens to me enough that she doesn't then want to listen to a podcast with me on it.
Fair enough.
It's not though, is it really?
Shall I just send her? I'll send her my audio.
Yeah, like it's not something that like a loving girlfriend should really say.
Wow.
I mean, where's the support?
Yeah. I mean, the support is when she dries you with the towels, I think.
Maybe. Next time.
Go on. You picked it.
Nothing special about the next episode. I was trying to think, is there anything special coming up? Nah.
I don't think so.
Just a bog standard episode.
Ellie's post-birthday episode.
Yep. We spent an hour before recording trying to decide what to do next time.
Yeah.
So,
which is ridiculous.
Listeners, you've got a job. Send us some suggestions of things to do. Good suggestions.
Yeah, we are aware that there is still technically a backlog of suggestions before the people that have suggested stuff kick off.
Here's the thing, though. We're filtering suggestions.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I don't want to watch Sir Billy.
I don't mind, but I obviously can't force Ellie to do it. So, looks like we're not doing Sir Billy.
Liam doesn't want to watch Godfather 1 and 2.
Actually, I kind of do.
I don't.
Well, then don't say I don't. Be honest with our listeners and say that you don't. Don't put it on me.
I don't want to watch Godfather 2 because I didn't like Godfather 1.
This is why I want to watch it, though, because like I know like Godfather, right, is Amanda's favourite film of all time. And I've watched it twice now in the past. And both times I've come away being like, it's a good film. I don't know why everyone considers it the best.
Yeah.
Godfather 2 has a reputation for being one of the...
Yeah, don't people say it's better than the first?
Yeah, and it is. It's a good film. Again, it's a very good film. I think the last time I watched them, and we're talking like over like 6 years ago now, I think I gave the first Godfather 4 out of 5 and Godfather 2 like 4.5 out of 5. They're good films. I'd be happy to revisit them, but I know you don't want to.
I mean, part of the issue is that I know you will watch both of them, and I will not rewatch Godfather 1 because we'll just be doing Godfather 2. And then that'll lead to a weird episode like the Santa Claus one, where you have to talk for 50 minutes about a fucking 2 films that I haven't watched.
Just watch the first one.
No, we don't do entire series.
No, and we wouldn't do Godfather 3. That would have to be on a future housekeeping.
That's just stupid.
Why is that stupid?
Whatever, let's just... Anyway, what film are we doing?
This is one of my personal favourites. Ticks the Liam coming-of-age box. I'm thinking about it. It's a fucking female protagonist, isn't it? So...
Is it?
That's going to shock everyone.
Oh, yeah, you usually... You're usually sexist, Liam.
Usually. I watch these movies and I'm like, there's not enough scenes in the kitchen. It's unbelievable.
I might edit that out and put it right at the beginning.
We are doing My Girl, which is just... Oh.
Does it have the song in it?
Yes. Of course it does. Of course it does. It's honestly one of my favourite films of all time. It's a shame about the sequel. It's not as good.
What's the sequel called?
My Girl 2.
Oh. They could have called it like My Other Girl.
That would have been great. That would have been so good.
It's all right though, listeners. I've conceded to this and Liam has told me that he now owes me one sci-fi film.
Yeah,
so,
I do.
Event Horizon or Pandorum is coming up soon.
I'm surprised you're not going for Annihilation.
I really want to rewatch Event Horizon.
Okay.
And Pandorum, to be honest.
I will. If we're doing that, right, you've got to wait until I go back to my mum's because I think my Event Horizon DVD is there.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I don't mind waiting. I'm not in a rush to do it. I really want to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Because I remember really enjoying it and I want to see if it holds up.
I know I have it on DVD somewhere. I ain't got a fucking clue where though.
That's fair.
So I need to dig it out. But yeah, I watched it initially because you recommended it to me.
Yeah. I can't remember why I watched it because usually it was definitely at uni.
Yeah.
And traditionally at uni it would be everyone would go away for a weekend except me, like go back home, and I would message Liam and say, Liam, I've got the house to myself, give me a list of horror films to watch.
Which I would gladly do.
Yeah, and I watched a fair few doing that. But then I think for some reason I watched Event Horizon without your recommendation.
Yeah, because I hadn't seen it.
Weird.
What was some of the good horror films I recommended?
Oh, I genuinely can't remember. I know I watched a lot.
I think I made you watch Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh yeah, I went through a phase of and I watched up to Dream Warriors.
Oh, that's a brilliant one.
Yeah, because I remember you saying Dream Warriors is like the best one.
Yeah, you don't really need to watch beyond that.
No, I did Friday the 13th, but I don't know if that was on your recommendation.
Yeah, it's not one of my favourite slashers, so it would have been. What about Halloween?
I'd seen Halloween before.
Okay, those are like the big slasher ones.
Yeah, there were definitely others.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I used to get lists.
You did. So yeah, next time we're not doing horror. We're doing beautiful coming of age movie, My Girl. If you've seen My Girl, if you have thoughts on it, you, dear listener, could get involved. You could tweet us at nerdonnerd, email us nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com. Leave a comment on YouTube, I guess. YouTube us, just search Nerd on Nerd.
It's a bit, in the past, so don't leave us a comment about My Girl, because that would be weird.
Well, I'll see it.
He'll see it, but it will just be weird. You'll be commenting on, like, a culture swap from a year and a half ago.
Yeah, you will.
I like My Girl.
Yeah, but I'll see it.
Okay.
So you could leave a review on iTunes, and you could rate us. That helps, apparently. That's it. No, Facebook us. Facebook.com/nerdonnerdpod.
All one word?
I don't know.
No, it is. It's all one word.
Okay. That's it. Any final thoughts?
Stop killing trans people.
It's probably a good final thought to end on. Can't really dispute
I
it.
made it dark again.
Can't dispute it, can you?
You can't.
No.
Bye. Bye.